The Salthawk Expressives giving a little rendition of our national anthem. Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado. So glad to have you along, Dan, tonight, as that was a great rendition of our wonderful national anthem.
It's a great night for the national anthem.
It is a great night for the national anthem. It's a great night for football as well. So glad to have everybody along with us as we're getting set for football. Salthawk style, as the Railers of Newton have came to town, and they'll get set to take on the Salthawks, who are 3-0 on the young season. If you just listen to the pregame, we talked about not the rarity of that so much, Dan, but how Hutchinson has really turned it around this year and got off to a great start at 3-0. And Newton, on the other hand, 0-3, and surprising to some extent because I think they played some pretty good football.
Both Hutchinson and Newton have been engaged in very close games the first three contests of the 2020 year, and Hutchinson has found a way to come out on top in all three of those, and unfortunately for the Newton Railers and their fans, they've come up on the short end. However, keep in mind that Newton started off this season against Andover Central, Derby, and Mays, three very good football programs.
Let's check in with one of our sidekicks down on the field. It's going to be Joe Blake as well tonight doing the sideline reports, brought to you by Jackson Meat and also brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Joe, game time temperature 88 degrees, pretty nice down there, a little warmer than last week.
Oh, yeah, a lot warmer than last week, and we also got a 15-mile-per-hour wind. It's looking like it's going to die down a little bit, though. It's going to be moving from right to left on your stream tonight.
Yep, no doubt about that. Now, the heat a little bit. Last week we were very comfortable, didn't have the cramp issues. We did out in Garden City, and we did a little bit against Valley Center. Do you think the heat, if it starts to drop, is that going to cause some problems, or do you think the guys are starting to get a little bit better shape?
You know, I think better shape is going to be a factor, and also the wind is going to help with that a lot. Also, it is a little bit lower of a temperature than what we saw maybe in Garden City. So
well, I'll let Dan join in on this conversation as well, as we know they're going to throw the football a lot. We know Newton's going to throw, and Hutchinson, surprisingly this year, is throwing the football a lot. How do you think the wind is going to affect that throwing game for either team?
I think both Miles Thompson, the quarterback for the Hutchinson Salthawks, and Ben Schmidt, the quarterback for the Newton Railers, I don't think the wind is blowing hard enough to make it seem like there's an extra defensive player out there going against them. Sometimes in Kansas on Friday nights, the wind is blowing hard enough that it seems like there are 12 or 13 defensive players out there if you're trying to throw the ball. I don't think that's going to be the case tonight.
Joe, I'm going to include you in the question I asked Coach Knack on the pregame when you played here basketball last year for Hutchinson High School. Did homecoming distract you any as a player, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you can't let it distract you. I know that it's a big deal in the school, but when it's game day, you gotta tune out anything else that's going on the outside, whether it's senior night or homecoming. You got to be able to get ready to play.
Joe Blake is also a freshman at Cali College and plays tennis down at Cali College. Glad to have him along this evening as well. So glad to have him along. Excited about that.
And who are those sideline reports courtesy of?
Those are courtesy of Papa John's Pizza as well as Jackson Meat, both great sponsors of sports here in the Salt City. So we're waiting for Hutchinson to come out of the locker room. Newton is out on the field on the opposite side. They're dressed out in their white uniforms with black helmets and gold on those helmets. And Hutchinson, again, will be coming out of the dressing room in just a second. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick time out. We're going to come back and talk about the Davis Award winners as well as the Homecoming King coming your way in just a little bit. We'll take a quick 30-second time out. We'll be back right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Gowan Stadium here in Hutchinson, Kansas. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson up in the booth now. She was down on the field with the Expressives. She's our video photographer, and Joe Blake, sideline reports, brought to you by Jackson Meat and Papa John's Pizza as the referee going across. And here comes the Salthawks out of their dressing room right now. Let's talk real quick about the Davis Award winners they announced. And also you had the King candidates and the King that was named King.
Well, we'll get the Queen candidates taken care of at halftime when that is crowned. But just a few minutes ago, the King candidates for homecoming: Carter Boo, he wears number 3 on Salthawk football; Alec Eldridge, Maddox Hennahaw, number 22 on Salthawk's football team; Emilio Martinez, number 15, and David Waymeyer is number 37. So 4 of the 6 candidates are members of the football team. The winner, the homecoming king 2020, Xavier Smith.
Congratulations, Xavier.
Congratulations. And you mentioned the Davis Foundation. What a great organization that really rewards excellence in USD 308. They select students for scholarships each year, and they also give awards to teachers, $4,000 apiece to these winners. Elementary winners were Leslie Specht, 3rd grade teacher at Lincoln Elementary; Randy Dirksen, music teacher at Lincoln. Middle school winner was Shandy Webster, the science teacher at Hutchinson Middle School 7. And the high school winners were Don Justice, a math teacher at Hutchinson High School, and Eric Malashuk, a social studies teacher at the high school.
I want to point out also Xavier Smith is number 26 on your roster, the Hutch High football player as well. So congratulations to him as the king. We'll have the Queen candidates. Also, Rick Krause will be joining me at halftime also to talk a little Salthawk High School things that are going on. Of course, he's assistant superintendent for USD 308. Captain's going out at mid part of the field, the center part of the field. And again, it's going to be Jack Hopper for Hutchinson working his way out there. And a big defensive lineman. Looks like it's going to be offensive lineman, actually. Aiden Kendall will be the representative for Newton as they will be flipping the coin. We'll go to Joe here in just a second to see if he can pick up exactly who the toss is going to be won by. And we've had some cancellations across the state of Kansas. Just lately this afternoon, the Derby game against Salina South was canceled, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So I think they're discussing. Looks like Newton, they're going to defer. Let's check it. Okay, Hutchinson deferred. It looks like Newton is going to receive. So that's the way you have it, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Salthawks are going to start out kicking with the win.
Same thing happened last week. So Hutchinson will put Newton on first on offense, and we'll get set to get going. Railers coming in at 0-3, but they have played very competitively, as Dan Nacarado just mentioned. So here will be coming the Hutchinson kickoff coming your way in just a bit. And the Salthawks will go down and get set to kick off, as Newton will put a pretty good high-powered offense out there. Again, you talked about it. Ben Schmidt Sr. and Peyton Maxwell Sr. Both their seniors are the primary names that we'll be primarily calling out, and Matthew Maxwell, a wide receiver.
The two of them account for the bulk of the Newton offensive yards and first downs.
So we are about set to get underway. So glad to have you along on this bright and sunny September eve. As again, it's heated up a little bit, 88 degrees game time temperature is what that's going to be. And looks like the low tonight's going to get down to about 67. But a little bit of a breeze makes it quite tolerable. And we're about set to get underway. Want to remind everybody we have a new sponsor with Salthawk Sports, Titan Home Services at 4th and Whiteside. We'll be sponsoring the HutchPost.com play of the game. And we'll name that in the post game. Here's the kickoff. It's going to stay in bounds and then roll out of bounds over at about the 5-yard line. So it'll come out to the 35 for Newton, and they'll set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 35, Dan. And Hutchinson defensively, the defense was just outstanding last week against a very good May South offense. And we will see how they will do.
Last week, that defense led by Mason Weathers, Jack Hover, Ben Patterson had particularly spectacular games. David Waymeyer, Carter Young, and Isaiah Phillips are always good. Isaiah Phillips injured in last week's game. Not sure when he'll be able to return.
Yep, he is not out there as he was injured in the late minutes. All right, here's Ben Schmidt, the quarterback for Newton. They'll go left to right as you watch and listen. He fakes the handoff, little play action. He rolls to the right side, pressure on him. Catch is made at the 38-yard line. Gets by one tackle. And Newton player takes it up a little bit farther. That's going to be Xavier Martin with the catch. Martin, the wide receiver. Hutch whooped on a tackle, picks up 9 yards. So second down and 1.
Hutchinson almost got the sack. Ben Schmidt able to be elusive enough to avoid it. And then Martin avoided the first would-be tackler.
Martin split wide out to the right side. Schmidt pulls back Maxwell and will send him in motion to the right side. Now he'll set up in the slot over there. Gives it off. Running back's going to carry the ball. Quickly corralled and dropped back there. Looks like it was Kenton Forrest. Forrest, the running back. 5'10", 185 pounds. He's a junior for Newton. And they pick up the first down. So ball's at the 48 of Newton.
Jack Hover and Mason Weathers made the stop.
So a quick first down picked up. 9 yards on the first play of the game and positive yardage on that one for the first down. Schmidt, the quarterback. Got some size up on that front line, especially on the right side. Schmidt rolls back, throws it on the outer side. It's going to be caught by the running back and going to be dropped. But Forrest picks up some positive yardage. Picks up about 2 to 3 yards. We'll say it's going to be second down and 8. They'll mark it right at the 50.
Hard to tell whether that was a pass or a lateral.
It looked a little bit behind. So.
I thought so, too. Jack Hover made the tackle after a 2-yard gain.
So right away, Forrest has gotten a couple calls. Kenyon Forrest, the running back. He is a junior. Schmidt, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Might have checked out on a play, taken a long snap count. Now he gets it. Hands it off. And Forrest straight up the middle. Picked up maybe a yard on the play. Good job of tackling back there by Hutchinson.
Ben Patterson and Mason Weathers.
Hunter Stanford also came in and got a nice stop along with them. So
this is a situation, expect Newton to look for Peyton Maxwell, number 1. Kinzer Newquist will likely be matched up against him defensively.
Third down and 7 for the Newton Railers. Just underway, no score as of yet. 10:05 to go in this first quarter of play. They'll split Maxwell in the slot out, and also on the far right will be Martin. Shotgun formation.
Double coverage on Maxwell.
Little slow snap as Schmidt gets it. Now he steps up. He's got room to run. He should be close to the first down, but he'll be short of it by about a yard. Looked like he was going to make it, and then Hutchinson closed on him quickly.
Devin Hackney got him short of the first down.
So it's going to be a fourth down situation. Let's see if Newton's going to go for it or not in this situation. Fourth and about a long 2.
This is not automatically a run situation for Newton. They like to pass it.
So fourth down and 2. Oh, movement, and Hutchinson jumped off sides. Neutral zone infraction. That'll give him the automatic first down. Hutch was coming.
Frustrating penalty committed by the Salthawks when you know it's third or fourth down and less than 5.
Yep.
It's a very common tactic to try to pull the defense off sides.
That left side of the defensive line surged to make contact. So first and 10 now for Newton at the Hutchinson 38-yard line. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson, along with Joe Blake. We'll check in with Joe in just a second.
Opening minutes of this game, no score yet.
Schmidt, the quarterback, throws the ball on the outside, incomplete pass. Stops the clock with 9:40 to go in this first quarter of play. Joe, interesting on the jump right there, gave him automatic first down. Did not show the hand at what Newton was going to run on that, but they're moving the ball pretty effectively.
Yeah, and they are moving the ball very effectively. When Coach Knack mentioned in the pregame that you got to keep a spy on the quarterback with Schmidt. So, and he proved that and made it fourth and short, made it a manageable situation.
Yeah, certainly did. Joe Blake's comments on the sideline brought to you by Papa John's Pizza at 17th and Plum, as well as Jackson Meat. Half a block west on 6th Street off of Main. There's a catch made by Maxwell at about the 32-yard line. He'll be stopped. Actually caught the ball at about the 34 and then quickly was closed upon. Newquist was there to help make the stop, along with also Martinez. Helio Martinez out there to help on the stop.
There's a case where Maxwell was double covered, but he was still able to free himself up for a 5-yard pass completion.
The Salthawk coaching staff is wanting refs to watch out for some offensive pass interference with the rubs.
Might be rubbing and pushing off a little bit, huh? Schmidt, the quarterback, 3rd down and 4 is the call. Wants to throw the football, has it, and the catch made by Martin. Going to see, interesting where they're going to spot this because he was tackled immediately, and it's a good enough for the 1st down. So they needed 4 and got 4.5.
Yeah, didn't get it by much.
8:51 to go in quarter 1. No score as of yet, but Newton taking the opening drive all the way down to the Salthawk 28-yard line. And have a 1st and 10 from that spot.
Coach Chris Jackson, his 5th year at Newton. He's 10 and 29. He's a Bishop Carroll graduate and also was an assistant coach at Bishop Carroll. Pittsburgh State linebacker in 2004.
Martin with a couple catches, splits wide to the right side now. In the slot on the left, they have Maxwell. They look at Maxwell and go to him. He's got the catch in between 2 Salthawks. He's got room to run to the 5, to the 4, touchdown. Maxwell from 28 yards out. The first strike on the board will go to Newton. Newton leads at 6-0.
Very frustrating for Hutchinson Salthawk coaching staff when the game plan all week was make sure we drape defensive players on Peyton Maxwell because he is the favorite target of Ben Schmidt.
Well, he caught it wide open on the left side and ran him right in between 2 Salthawks, and there's going to have to be some adjustments made on that. Now the point after kick forthcoming on the PAT. It is up, and it is good, and Newton takes an early lead at 8:16 to go in this first quarter of play. Newton 7, Hutchinson nothing. We'll await the Newton kickoff right after this quick 30-second timeout.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Well, a quick score right there by the Newton Railers, 28 yards out, and a nice strike right there to Maxwell. Just a little slant pattern, Dan, and took it into the end zone.
Running after the catch. In case you missed it in pregame, last week Ben Schmidt set a Newton school record with 37 pass completions for 487 yards against Mays. Peyton Maxwell caught 14 of those passes.
That'll be Hutchinson's turn. Here's the kickoff. High end-over-end kick taken at the 11. Hutchinson's going to bring it up. Has some room. Newquist on the return. He has room. He's at the 40, to the 45, to the 50. Down to the 40 and inside Newton territory all the way to the 37-yard line. What a return by Newquist.
Coming back, unfortunately.
And a flag laying at the 34. What'd you see, Joe?
I think we have a block in the back or some sort of holding.
Yeah, it was a cracked back block where one of the Salthawks pretty much demolished one of the Railers. Unfortunately, under the current football rules, you are not allowed to make a block of that nature anymore because so many injuries used to occur on those types of plays. So it was a fantastic return, well set up and well run by Kinzer Newquist.
Yeah, it really was.
But it's going to come all the way back to somewhere around the 20-yard line.
So work to be done now for the Salthawks as they'll bring that back. Trotting past the 20 down to about the 15. So 1st and 10 from the 15s where Hutchinson will set up shop.
Frustrating penalty because that block may not have been necessary. So
yeah, he might have been behind. Kinzer Newquist might have already been past him when the block occurred.
So Hutchinson sets up shop, 1st and 10 from their 15. Man in motion. Turn, give to McEwen. McEwen around the right side across the 20. Nice carry right there. Actually, it's Blackwell on the carry. Blackwell all the way to the 25-yard line. That's very close for the first down. It will be a first down. Nice carry by Blackwell.
Anthony Blackwell, mostly known for being an outstanding lead blocker. When he does get opportunities to carry the ball, he makes the most of them.
Miles Thompson, the quarterback, looks at that right wrist. He has McEwen set up at the fullback slot right behind him. And a man of motion as a rocket toss on the outside, trying to turn the corners. Kokar, and he picks up maybe a yard and a half possibly. He's going to bring up a 2nd down and 9.
Brought down by Newton's leading tackler on the season, Nick Antonowicz. Antonowicz, the 6'1", 190-pound senior linebacker, very good athlete, and he's making about 12 tackles a game.
You know, Newton's going to be queuing on McEwen. He has the first 2 plays from scrimmage. Hutchinson has not let the fullback that had 292 yards the other night touch the football as of yet. There he gets it. Straight up highway, running across the 30, bounces to the 35, has the first down, still on his feet, goes all the way to the 42-yard line.
There's no quit in Alec McEwen. Took about 4 Newton Railers to finally wrestle him down.
Did a nice job right there.
Offensively, Newton has been putting up points. They've been averaging 31 points a game, but they have been giving up 39 a game.
Nice run by McEwen, sets up a first down from the 40, back to pass. Miles Thompson looks to his right side, trying to scramble a little bit. Now he's going to be dropped for a loss, and you've got to get rid of the football there in that situation. He did not throw it to somebody, but didn't throw it away either. Loss of a play of about 2 yards, so not as bad as I first intended it to be. He was certainly going to pass all the way.
The Hutchinson Salthawk passing attack traditionally has been rare, and when a pass is called, usually there's just one target, and if that target is covered, it's hard for the quarterback to have anywhere to go with the ball.
Peterson will split wide on the left side. Trayton Peterson, senior wide receiver for Hutch. The toss again this time. Kokar gets to the edge. He's at the 40, to the 50, to the 50, 45, all the way down to 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown for Hutchinson. 61 yards on the TD. No flags this time, and Hutchinson's on the board with a big touchdown.
Very well blocked. Trayton Peterson had a nice block from his wide receiver position, and Noah Kokar found the seam and sprinted through it.
Nice blocking on the outside. 61 yards to pay dirt. 7-6 your score. Boo's kick forthcoming. Boy, that was a thing of beauty right there.
Mason Seitz and Noah Ragoza on the left side of that offensive line did a good job of sprinting out to get good blocks, too.
Here's the hold by Newquist. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. We're tied at 7 apiece. Hutchinson 7 and the Newton Railers 7. We'll await the Hutchinson kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
61 yards and a cloud of dust by Noah Kokar. That was a beauty around that left side. And Joe Blake, you had a good look at that one, buddy. It was coming right away from you.
Yeah, he was coming right at me, and let me tell you, there was not much room between that left foot and the white sideline, but he just tight-roped the edge and took it all the way.
Very similar to last week's game, where he set up the go-ahead touchdown late in the contest, 3:36 to go to be exact, and was our Titan Home Services play of the game. And that one right there might be going after another one. Here comes the kick for the kickoff, and it's going to be taken by a Newton player, actually a tight end out there at about the 36-yard lines where he slid to a stop. So it'll be first and 10 for Newton from the 36.
Jackson Brackeen made the catch and then pretty much took a knee. He was retreating. He almost looked like a wide receiver on an over-the-shoulder catch, and he had to field the kick that way.
So now Newton will come out, and they marched right down the field, scored from 28 yards out on their first attempt.
We thought tonight's game would be entertaining with a lot of offense and some scoring going up on that board, and it looks like that's what we have underway.
So, with the football will be Newton. They'll set up. Handed off again on the running back. That's going to be Forrest. He has some room and rolls out to about a 7-yard pickup thereabouts. Maybe give him 8. It's going to be marked at the 44. So 2nd down and 2.
Once he got past that first wave of tacklers, good thing Devin Hackney was able to make the stop in the open field, or he could have been running for about another 10 yards.
So setting up now in the shotgun. They'll go heavy on the left side with wide receivers, 3 to be exact. Split out wide on the right side will be Maxwell. Throws it to Maxwell on a slant. He catches it by his knees and across midfield for the first down to the Hudson 49-yard line. Had to reach down a little bit, Dan, to make that catch, but a nifty catch it was by Maxwell Sr. That would be Peyton Maxwell Sr.
Newton put a bunch of receivers on the left side and left Maxwell, the lone receiver, on the right side. They hoped to get him matched up in single coverage, which they pretty much did. But fortunately for Hutchinson, Stephon Hunter made a nice tackle.
Nose of the football right at the 50-yard line. Heavy part of the ball on the Newton side of the 50. They'll stack the right side a little bit. Have a wide receiver up top. They give it to Forrest, trying to pick up some yardage. He picks it up into Hudson territory. Pickup of 3 on the carry. Will bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Another tackle by the Hawk linebacker, Ben Patterson. He makes a lot of plays.
Excuse me, 2nd and 7 will be the call. They'll mark it at the 48, so we'll call it 2nd down and 8.
It's a very mature defensive unit for the Hutchinson Salthawks this year. And as you've mentioned several times, Glenn, sometimes they bend, but they seldom break.
Boy, they've really, twice they've bent against Garden City and against May South, but came out on top. Showing blitz on that left side. Schmidt, the quarterback, hands it off to Forrest again. He stumbles across the 46 to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play will bring up a 3rd down and 5. Key play right here coming up for Newton.
Early on, Newton is running the ball a little bit more than what we would have expected. They threw 55 passes last week against Mays, and they have been throwing a lot of passes every game.
We're just tied at 7-7 apiece with 3:23 to go in this first quarter of play. If you just tuned in, glad to have you along. And movement. And let's see if they're drawing off sides or not. And that's what Hutchinson's kind of pointing, but Hutchinson defense pedaling back like they know it's going to be against them. So
high school football, if you break the neutral zone, it's automatically a penalty. It's not like in the pros where you'll see a player jump across and then try to get back.
Mm-hmm.
Once you break that line of scrimmage, it's an automatic penalty, and the officials just stop the play.
Still short of the first down, so 3rd and 1. So rather than 3rd and 5, it really was 3rd and 6. Newton back to pass. Schmidt wants to go long with it and throws it away. Incomplete pass. So maybe not a bad part of the ball game to do that on. 3rd down and short. Now more than likely we'll go for it here.
Right. It was a hitch and go. Maddox Hennaha had great coverage, and he had help over the top from Devin Hackney. Really, I don't see how that pass could have been completed with that coverage. Mm-hmm. It was excellent.
Very good coverage by Hackney. Again, and also Mad Dog Hennaha out there. That's his nickname. 4th down and 1. Railers with the football on the Hutch 41-yard line. We're tied at 7. First quarter action. Snap count, the keeper by Schmidt. He has some room, and he gets the first down and stretches his body all the way down to about the 32. 1st and 10 now, Newton. So he called his own number on that one, Dan, and it wasn't a delayed draw or anything. It was a quarterback go all the way.
Yeah, Newton sent pretty much the entire backfield and line to the right, and quarterback Ben Schmidt just took the shotgun snap and ran to his left.
Clock moving along, 2:39 to go in his first quarter play. We're tied at 7. Newton on the roll again. They took the first possession, 28 yards out. They scored. Schmidt wants to throw it again. Incomplete pass. This time they went to Maxwell, but Maxwell Newquist was right there on top of him, and incomplete pass.
Even if he would have caught it, it would have been no gain. That's fantastic coverage from the free safety position by Kenzer Newquist. Hutchinson's made some adjustments for this game, knowing how good quarterback Ben Schmidt and wide receiver Peyton Maxwell are. So Kenzer Newquist, the outstanding junior, he's pretty much drawn the assignment of making sure Peyton Maxwell is kept in check.
And Maxwell split out on the same side as he just was on the right side. Has a touchdown from that left side on the slant pattern that he caught back early on for the first touchdown for Newton from 28 yards out. Get to Forrest, and he's going to be dropped quickly. Coming in strong was Hopper, and Jack Hopper putting a licking on him. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10, excuse me.
Can't ask for a linebacker to play the run any better than Jack Hopper just did from his Eagle linebacker position. Jack Hopper, an all-AVCTL player and candidate for all-state honors potentially this season if he keeps it up.
He's had a great season so far. Absolutely. 1:48 to go in this first quarter of play. We're tied at 7. Newton facing a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 10 for the Railers from the Hutchinson 33-yard line. Stumble gives off to Forrest. He has some room. Missed tackle. He has the first down inside of Hutch territory all the way to the 19-yard line. Looked like Hutchinson was going to contain him out there, Dan, but he's a powerful running back. Dropped that shoulder and went right past the defender.
He's getting more carries tonight than we've seen in the first 3 weeks of the season. So Coach Chris Jacks obviously game planning to establish the run game tonight after attempting 55 passes last week.
Minute and 17 to go in quarter one. 7-7 tie. Newton with the football. 1st and 10 inside the red zone now. They have it at the 19 of Hutchinson. Wide out split wide. Martin way wide on the right side. Over in that slot is Maxwell. They'll throw it out to Forrest. He catches it. Hopper trying to track him down. He does. Loss of 1 on the play.
No, he was not tackled. He did not hit the ground. That's gonna be a touchdown.
Is that a touchdown? It is. Nice call, Joe.
Wow.
I saw how Hopper reacted, and I saw also how the running back Forrest reacted as he's going like, hey, I wasn't down. So he spun down. Quite an athletic play right there, and he is able to score it.
Joe, did you think that was a lateral or a pass?
Yeah, I think it'll be counted as a pass, but hey.
So Newton scoring from 19 yards out with 49 seconds remaining to go in the quarter. Forrest on the run.
The tackler and Forrest kind of looked like a tumbleweed there.
Here's the point after kick. It is up, and it is good. So 14-7 now. Newton takes a 7-point lead as we're in the first quarter with 49 seconds remaining. Strange play, but it counts as 6 + 1 on the board. We'll be back with more coming your way in 30 seconds.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Well, in a strange play, it was on the 19. I thought that Hopper had him thrown for a 1-yard loss. As a matter of fact, that's what I rang it up as, but evidently his knee did not touch the ground, and Forrest took it into the end zone from 19 yards out. 14-7 now. Newton with the lead, and Hutchinson awaiting the Newton kickoff. Here comes the toe into the football. It's going to be taken again over on that right side by Newquist. He angles to the left, trying to pick up his blockers. Gets across the 20, and he's going to be dropped right there at the 20-yard line, thereabouts. 1st and 10 for Hutchinson. So Hutch will set up shop. They've trailed before in ball games, and let's see what they put together because they've been moving the ball very effectively. So
matter of fact, I think Hutchinson's trailed in all 3 games.
They have.
In all 3 victories
against Valley Center and came back and took the lead and hung on as Valley Center made a good effort. Pulled within 1 possession.
It's one of the things you like about this Salthawk team, their resilient toughness.
Peterson split wide on the right side. McEwen fumbles the football. It got away from him, and let's see who has it. Fumble on the handoff. Let's see if McEwen came up with it or not.
Yeah, he's on top of it.
Yep, he's on top of it. So it'll be Hutchinson's football, 2nd down and 10.
Hutchinson has only turned the ball over twice this season. And the reason I say only twice, normally a team that runs the option play does tend to muff some handoffs.
Searching to knock on wood. You know
yeah,
that?
you're knocking on plastic or
I
formica
found my
here
head,
or
though.
something.
All right, Hutchinson facing a 2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line, their own 20-yard line.
Into the quarter.
And that will be the end of the quarter. So after 1 quarter of play, it's Newton 14, Hutchinson 7. We'll be back for the Hutchinson play from scrimmage right after this 1-minute timeout.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
2nd down from Hutchinson's own 20-yard line. Trey Salzbrenner is our chief engineer tonight back at BW Studios. The giveaway straight ahead running. Pick up of a couple yards. Looks like it could have been a loose football for a second as the way the players are reacting, but I think Hutchinson got on top of it. McEwen on the carry. We'll pick up, we'll say 3, 3rd down and 7. So 3rd down and 7 facing Hutchinson with 11:42 to go here in the 2nd quarter of play. 14-7 Newton on top. Glad to have everybody along tonight, both on KWBW 1450 AM and 98.5 FM and HutchPost.com. Newton with a 4-man defensive front. There's Kokar in motion. Thompson wants to keep it. Now he pitches it, gets the pass away. Actually, that was a pass, and all the way down to about the 25-yard line. McEwen was able to catch the football. It's going to be short of the 1st down for quite a bit. So 4th down and 5 down. Hutchinson's going to have to punt the football away. First time either team has punted tonight.
Coach Vernon has been very pleased with the special teams play of the Salthawks. Andrew Schweigert is the long snapper. There's a lot of pressure on that long snapper to come in and deliver, whether it's on punts or whether it's on extra points, and he has been doing a very good job.
Back deep is Remsberger Jr., Jonah Remsberger for Newton. And there's going to be a flag on a play. Hutch is going to get a free one out of this one as the punter was roughed up. It's going to bounce all the way to the 46, but I think this is going to come back and be an automatic 1st down as Hutchinson's number 91, Alejandro Martinez, got plowed into pretty good.
So there's a case when you go in to block a punt, you can't run at the punter. You have to have a target about 3 yards in front of the punter where the ball is going to be kicked. And that time, Newton just took a bad angle. They came very close to blocking the punt, but ran at the punter instead of where the ball was.
So Hutch gets a break, has it 1st and 10 from their own 40. That big offensive line brings them up to the line of scrimmage. Cooper Doobie, the center. Thompson down under center. Turns, gives them McEwen, trying to find his way through. He has some opening. He's across the 50, all the way down to the 45, all the way down to the 42-yard line. They'll mark it officially at the 43 where his knee hit. But a quick opener up the middle, moves the chains, and Hutchinson inside of Newton territory now. 1st and 10 from their 43. McEwen had a lot of hands on him when he came through that line of scrimmage, but that left side over there, Ragosa Sights doing a great job. And Doobie straight away running on that left side of the line. Thompson, the quarterback, 1st and 10. Hutch to get to the first man through. And carried forward. It'll be McEwen again. Last week he was a workhorse. This one's going to take it down to about the 37-yard line. 33 carries, 292 yards.
Terrific game, Alec McEwen.
They got a K-Preps sticker on the Hudson helmet.
Good.
For the play that took place with Hutchinson. Thompson Give to McEwen again. Quick opener straight up the middle. He's just going right in between Ragosa and Seitz, and I think he's close to the first down. He might be a yard short. Just across the 35 to the 34-yard line, 3rd and 1.
That Hutchinson offensive line from left to right, Noah Ragosa, Mason Seitz, Cooper Doobie, Chase Kepler, and Jonathan Fan.
And right behind them, backing up that right side specifically, is going to be Jamar Jefferson and Taiwan James as well. So they got some big meat up front, doing a good job. Here's McEwen at fullback, Thompson the quarterback in the slot. It's going to be Kokar. Kokar, sophomore. The quarterback sneak by Thompson to get that first down. He's up to the 34-yard line, has enough. So Hutchinson with a fresh set of downs now, trailing by one touchdown, 14-7 with 8:50 to go in his second quarter of play.
Pretty good sign that offensive line is firing off the ball well when you can pick up that many yards on a quarterback sneak on 3rd and short.
Newton with the size on the defensive line. You got Parga out there that's 5'9", 255. He's a fire plug. And give to Blackwell. Blackwell across the 30, rips it all the way down to the 27-yard line. Pickup of about 6 on the play. It's going to bring up less than that, about 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6.
That's the counter play that Hutchinson has run for many, many years. Fake the ball to the fullback going left, hand it to the slot coming back to the right.
Some other scores: Hayes 7, Garden City nothing after 1 quarter of play. Trinity Catholic 15, Lions nothing. Lions playing their first game of the year. There's a giveaway, straightaway running. Not much there, but inches close to the 25. And mark it officially. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 27. So 3rd down and 5. Key 3rd down play for Hutchinson.
Another one of those big defensive linemen, Diego Arellano, at 260 pounds, 5'11". He just closed the hole.
So 3rd down and 5 for Hutch. Trailing 14-7. 7:29 to go in this second quarter of play. The give quickly to McEwen, trying to bust through. He's got to give it off to Barlow. Check that, it's Kokar. Well, I've named everybody that was not on the play, but great fake there. We'll see how Miss Camera lady over here did, because she lost it last week. She might have had this one. 1st down for Hutchinson, this time around the right side.
And where can folks tune in on that live stream?
You can go to HutchPost.com, and you'll pick it up right there. It'll take you to the YouTube channel, or you can go to the Facebook Live channel as well at Hutch Salthawks Sports.
Through the years, many times officials will have an inadvertent whistle thinking the fullback or the quarterback has the ball when they don't.
This time they get to McEwen, a quick opener across the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Stretches to the 8, but they'll mark him at the 9. So Hutchinson can get a first down at the 4. So 2nd down and 6. 4 quick yards for McEwen.
So if you're watching the game or if you're broadcasting the game, don't feel bad if you're occasionally fooled. That's what this option offense is designed to do.
I named every number, but who had the ball out there?
It's okay.
All right, McEwen's in at that fullback spot. Thompson has his play now. Blackwell will set up the block on the right side in the slot. He gives to McEwen, straight away running all the way down to the 2.
That's power football.
And it'll be a 1st and goal from the 2. So McEwen took it all the way down to the 2-yard line. And you're right, Dan, that is power football. So 1st and goal from the 2 now for the Hutch Salthawks. Trying to tie this game up. They trail a 14-7. 6:25 midway through this second quarter of play. 6:25 to go in the second. Barlow split wide on the left side in that slot, and Kokar on the right. 3 good running backs for Hutchinson. The give this time is going to be to Barlow, and he gets stopped at about the 2-yard line. No gain on the play.
Tried to counter to Barlow. That's a difficult call to make work when you're in a short yardage situation near the goal line because the defense is crowding the line of scrimmage and attempting to penetrate.
I'm thinking just about if he went a little wider, you might have a sprint to the end zone corner. All right, McEwen at fullback. The give up the middle for McEwen. Touchdown from 2 yards out for McEwen with 5:54 remaining to go in this second quarter of play. Hutch within a point after tying the game up. So McEwen's touchdown, a good one right there. So Boo will come in and attempt to point after here.
Love the way he just punches the ball through with that left foot.
He gets set. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good.
Right hold by Kinzer Newquist there. Bobbled it a little bit, but still got it down.
So Hutchinson with the point after makes it 14-14 all. We await the Hutch kickoff coming your way right after this timeout.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gowan Stadium. Hutch is tied it at 14 all. And it will be a Newton now to wait the turnover. So both teams has had opportunities, and both teams have punched it into the end zone. Hutchinson did have to punt it away, but there was a roughing the punter penalty that kept that drive alive.
Turned it into an 80-yard drive.
Kick's going to hit out of bounds.
I think he touched it.
Did he touch it over there, Joe? Pretty close, yes.
Oh, yeah, he touched it.
So I'll have it at the 15. Just slipped in and out of his hands.
He didn't want to do it, but he did touch it before it went out of bounds. So instead of getting the ball on the 35, it'll be Newton ball on their own 15.
And that's one where he could have possibly had one foot on the sideline and touched it, and then that would have automatically put the ball on the 35 as if the ball just went out of bounds.
Yeah, good point. Joe Blake's sideline comments brought to you by Papa John's Pizza as well as Jackson Meat, 13 West 6, where Jackson Meat's located. Papa John's Pizza at 17th and Plum. Give Papa a call. Split out wide to the left and right this time. Schmidt gives it to the ball carrier for us. He stopped in the back field for a loss. And a nice stop out there by Hunter Stanford.
Tackle for loss.
And Stanford's having to come in and take the place of Isaiah Phillips, who was banged up a little bit last week.
Stanford a starter in his own right, though. It's nice that Hutchinson defense has so many capable players to call upon.
Schmidt gets the call from the bench. Splits Maxwell wide left. Keep an eye on number 1 out there if you're in the stands or watching on the stream. Claps the hands, back to pass, looks right. Ball flips out of his hands, and now he's going to be thrown for a safety. Loose football, could be a TD, and it is! Touchdown, Hutchinson! Oh, my! Joe, can you describe what just happened?
Well, I do not think he needed to get rid of that ball. I think forward progress would have had him at the 2-yard line. Wouldn't have been a safety, but he panicked and let go of the ball, and now it's a touchdown for the Salthawks.
He took the ball back to cock it, to throw it. It just slipped out of his
hands.
The old Statue of Liberty play, but there was nobody else on his team.
And I thought it was going to be a safety, and he fumbled it, and it ends up being a touchdown for Hutchinson. So Hutch with the lead. Lightning has struck here at Gowans. 20-14, Hutchinson leading. My. All right, here's the hole for the Carter Boo point after. It's a high snap. He gets the kick away. It is up and on its way, and it is good. And Hutchinson, with 4:57 remaining to go in this second quarter of play, takes the lead at 21-14. We await the Hutch kickoff right after this.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Welcome back. The Hudson kickoff taken back to about the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for Newton now from their own 28. What a string of events there, Dan.
That was a crazy play because there wasn't any pressure on quarterback Ben Schmidt. He just let the ball slip out of his hand as he cocked it to throw it, and then he had every opportunity to recover it and maintain possession for Newton. It would have been a loss. They would have been pinned back on their own 2-yard line, but that's a lot better than giving up a touchdown to your opponent. Hutchinson's glad to take it, though. Jack Hoover recovered it, if we haven't mentioned that.
The handoff from Schmidt to Forrest around the right side, up to about the 30, picked up a couple yards, 2nd down and 8.
Emilio Martinez and David Waymeyer, two of the homecoming king candidates tonight, combined to make the stop.
So Schmidt looks to the sidelines. 4:32, clock moving along in his second quarter of play. 21-14, Hutchinson with the lead. Newton will split a wide out to the right side, trips to the left side. So they'll overload the offensive line to the left, ball on the right hash mark. Schmidt back to pass. Sets it up, right side, kept. Ball is caught and carried into Hutchinson territory all the way to close to the 49-yard line. Let's see what the mark is going to be. Catching that was a tight end out there, and that was going to be Bodarek.
6'4", 215-pound senior.
It might be coming back. Let's check and see where they're going to mark it. Say he stepped out of bounds at about the 44-yard line.
He came up limping, and he's staying in the game, but he's still limping a little bit. Bodarek.
So Newton with the first down. Going to their tight end, 1st and 10. Schmidt, the handoff again to Forrest, shifts gears. Now he has some room. Gets close to the 50-yard line. They'll mark him just short. 49-yard lines will they'll mark it. Newton's 49. I'll bring up a 2nd down and about 5 to go.
Devin Hackney, number 38 for Hutchinson, just continues to make open field tackles. That's, I think, the hardest thing in all of football to do.
He just about had a pick last week, which would have sealed the win, and it was knocked away for an incomplete pass. I commented about his grandmother's always making comments on Facebook, and she lives down in Texas. And I'm sure she's a happy grandma seeing that play right there. Schmidt clapping his hands, finally gets the ball, wants to throw it on the right side. Catch is made by Maxwell right at about the 45-yard line, still on his feet, and finally carried forward to about the Hutchinson 40-yard line. So positive yardage of 10 yards. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Newton Railers. So Hudson defense a little porous, Dan, after the catch. That was an excellent run after the catch for Maxwell.
They're really focused on just keeping the Newton receivers in front of them so they don't give up those big strike plays.
1st and 10 from the 40. Hutchinson's 40. 2:49 to go in this second quarter of play. Salthawks on top, 21-14. The give again straight up the middle, wide open and running for Forrest all the way down to the 35-yard line. Finally corralled out there by Emilio Martinez.
Got to give that Newton offensive line a lot of credit on that play. Clausen, Mick, Duringer, Gomez, Kendall. They opened a nice hole for him to run through, and he took advantage of it.
1st and 10 from the 26 of Hutchinson. Clock at the 2:23 mark. Newton trying to get into pay dirt and tie this thing up before we head to halftime.
Kenyon Forrest picking up some good yards for Newton tonight on the ground.
They'll split wide out to the left side. The give to Forrest has some room, but then it closes quickly to about the 24-yard line. Pickup of about yard and a half on the play. We'll say 2. 2nd down and 8.
This is the part of the field all season where that Hutchinson defense has found a way to shut down drives.
1:44 remaining to go in this first quarter. Clock moving away. 2nd down and 8. Key call right here for Newton. They've been successful from the air, but also Forrest having a good game on the ground. He'll turn, and he's going to keep it. He rolls out to the right side this time. Here's Schmidt trying to set up. Now he's going to throw it and throws it away, basically. He did have a close receiver that just about caught it, but he would have been out of bounds, and that would have been Maxwell.
Well, that was Maxwell who, on his route, came across all the way into the end zone, saw that his quarterback, Ben Schmidt, was in trouble, and he came back towards Schmidt and almost came up with a catch, even though he was double covered. Good job on the coverage by that Scott Yannis-led Salthawk defense.
Yeah, he and Arnie do a good job out there, and I'm referring to Yannis along with Dave Armbrust.
Derek Reset doing a nice job with the secondary.
Back to pass is Schmidt. Looks to the right side. Caught over there for the first down inside the 10, right at the 10. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 10. I don't believe it's going to be a 1st and goal situation. We might look. Key 3rd down catch on 3rd and 8.
Very good pass and catch, good pattern. He was open, and it was a case where Peyton Maxwell lined up clear on the other side of the field and drew double coverage. That left one fewer defensive back in the coverage on the right side.
It is a 1st and goal right at the 10-yard line. So 1st and goal from the 10. 52 seconds to go before the end of the quarter. We're in quarter number 2. Newton trying to tie it up. Throws to the right side. Maxwell's there. Catch is made. Picks up all the way down to the 2.
Newton probably ought to take a timeout.
So 2nd down and goal. 38 seconds remaining. Newton will have it at the 2-yard line of Hutchinson. And you're probably right, Dan. It's down to 30 right now. Play clock at 40.
Not sure.
They're going to go for it.
Not sure why they didn't take a timeout there.
22 seconds remaining to go before the end of the quarter. Back to pass is going to be Schmidt. Now he's going to run it in himself from 2 yards out on that left side. Touchdown, Newton. And it makes it 21-20, the point after for Newton coming. Hutchinson still with the lead by 1 with 13 seconds remaining to go.
Well, Newton knew what they were doing with clock management after all. If you're going to score on the very next play, you don't need to take a timeout. I just thought that they were taking a pretty big chance there to not be able to get in before halftime.
All right, the point after coming. Here's a hold, the kick. Got to hold up on it a little bit. It is going to be good, though. 21-21 all. We'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back for the Newton kickoff right after this.
Hi, Kansas. Jess here at Pools Plus, and we are super bummed we won't see you at the fair this year, but we are excited that our inventory is stocked and ready for the big sale. You heard it. The No Fair Fair Sale is going on now at Pools Plus. All spas and outdoor furniture are marked down to an all-time low. All in-stock solar covers are 15% off. Get them while they last. Be sure to call the professionals at Pools Plus and schedule your pool closing before the calendar is full. The No Fair Fair Sale going on at Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Stay tuned at halftime. We'll have the Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castwood. Again at 14th and Main, and Rick Krause will join us after that as well. And we're going to get set here for the Newton kickoff. Came at the 13-second mark.
Colin Hirschberger, a good kicker for Newton.
Here comes the kick. It's going to boom all the way and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Hutchinson will have it 1st and 10. No time off the clock, so Hutch will have time for probably one more play. Hutchinson capable of busting one open here, Dan. We're tied at 21-21 apiece.
Just want to be safe and keep that ball secure with only 13 seconds to play in the half.
Exciting first half of play. Back and forth ball game. 7-0 Hutch, 7-7 tie. Newton goes up 14-7. Hutchinson comes back, ties it up, and Hutchinson just a few seconds later gets the fumble recovery in the end zone to take a 21-14 lead. Now we're tied to 21. Thompson, the quarterback, hands it off to Kokar around that left side, has some burst of speed, gets out of bounds, but
that's probably going to be the half.
Yeah, well, they're going to let it run on out. They say he knee hit, and that's going to be halftime. So we go to the locker room. Just like last week, just with a touchdown added on both sides of the scoreboard. 21-21 all. We'll take a timeout. This will be a 2-minute break. We'll come back with the Medicine Shop in-game capsule coming your way in just a little bit. Again, your halftime score, 21-21 tie. We'll be back right after this 2-minute timeout.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to halftime at Gowan Stadium. 21-21 tie. Had a good one going as Hutchinson and Newton locking it up. The pride of Hutchinson now on the Gowan's floor with the Hutchinson Salthawk marching band. Newton took first blood, took that opening kickoff, went down with 8:16 to go. It was a Schmidt to Maxwell 28-yard pass to make it 7-0 with the point after touchdown kick as well. And then Hutchinson was able to get on the board with 5:48 to go. Kokar with a 61-yard exhilarating touchdown to tie it at 7 apiece after the Carter Boo extra point. Then fours for Newton got going, 19 yards out. We thought he was tackled. Flips around, does a little bit of a pirouette. His knee did not touch the ground and goes in untouched from 19 yards out with 49 ticks left on the clock in the first quarter. 14-7, Newton with the edge. And McEwen, early on in the second quarter from 2 yards out with a 14-14 tie. Just a couple minutes later, Hutchinson with Jack Hopper fumble recovery in the end zone to make it 21-14 for the touchdown. And then you turn around with 13 seconds to go before halftime. Newton with a Schmidt 2-yard run on a scramble and makes it 21-21 with the point after touchdown. And we have an interesting first half of play taking place, and we're tied up at 21.
160 yards all on the ground for the Hutchinson Salthawks in that first half. They ran the ball 20 times for 160 yards, and as Glenn just reported, the big one, the 60-yard touchdown run by Noah Kokar. He carried it 4 times in the first half for 84 yards and that one touchdown. Alec McEwen, 11 carries for 61 yards. And on the defensive side, Jack Hopper leads all tacklers in this game with 7 tackles and 1 sack in that first half of play. Devin Hackney with 5 tackles, Amelia Martinez and Mason Weathers made 4 stops apiece. On the Newton side, Ben Schmidt, 11 out of 14 on passing in that first half. We knew that he would look to gain yards through the air, and his favorite target, Peyton Maxwell, 5 catches in the first half.
And this is your Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Medicine Shop at 14th and Main. Afia Plus is a novel combination of plants found in the Middle East, combination of components of their healing traditions for centuries. Afia Plus is made by Hyatt Life Sciences from Sterling, Kansas. Originally made for cancer patients, Afia Plus is now for everyone. Along with turmeric, Afia Plus is a blend of herbs and vitamins. And Afia Plus includes antitoxin properties, plus control blood sugar, cholesterol, and general heart health. You can get it right at the Medicine Shop at 13th and Main. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout, come back and talk with Rick Krause, one of the fine administrative folks with Hutchinson USD 308. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gallon Stadium. We are at halftime, and it's a 21-21 tie between the Newton Railers and the Hutchinson Salthawks. Now joining me, Rick Krause, with the administration of Hutchinson USD 308, assistant principal,
assistant superintendent.
Assistant superintendent. Absolutely. There we go.
You betcha.
I just dropped you down a few notches.
You know what? And those assistant principals are insulted right now because you did that.
No doubt about it. Hey, I watched you a lot this summer. You kind of were the main. There's a lot of people that were the glue, but you were on the main team that had to kind of figure out when are we going to open? Are we going to open? How are we going to set up the remote learning? What are we going to do? And there was I watched a couple board meetings on the web, which I told Mike last week, my folks, the superintendent, that years ago you wouldn't be able to do that. You probably would have had a packed boardroom, but you had close to 700 people watching one of the webs. But what a crazy first couple of months for school, but things kind of have settled down a little bit. But you always wonder, it's just like what took place with Derby. Now, they were not able to play their game tonight with Salina South. You just don't know.
Right. Well, there are a lot of changes that will be permanent that we weren't doing a year ago, and I think doing things remotely, doing things online, what we've shown is that people want to hear what the board has to say. They don't care about showing up, which I understand, but from the comfort of their own living room, I think we have watch parties now, people that get together to hear what the decisions they are making that impact the kids' education at Hutchinson Public Schools, and that's one of the positive changes I think we've seen with the virus.
And I think you're correct. And there's some things that are going to stay. There's no doubt about that. The social distancing seems like it's going to be here for the entirety. Were you surprised with when school did get going that the reduction of the number that was estimated to be remote learning came in at 5%? At one time, I think you guys thought it was going to be about 15%.
Yeah, it's just so hard for our parents to decide what the right thing is to do because of the nature of the virus. It just changes almost hourly, it feels like. And so our parents weren't really sure, in my opinion, what the right thing was for their kids. We had some kids who came on the first day who were going to be a remote learner, some on the second, third day, because I think parents figured out it's not like it was last March where we handed them a packet and they just did worksheets. The expectation about 6.5 hours of learning online was probably more than what they had anticipated. And as a parent, they're heading back to work, and they just don't have the time to spend with their kids at home necessary for them to be to sustain an online learning opportunity.
I think of the elementary, especially with working parents, that they need to know what was going to take place, because they need to make plans to adjust if need be, if they weren't going to have school. So I think there was a lot of sigh of relief when you finally pulled the trigger and decided what day school was going to start.
Well, and we know the best place for our kids is in our schools. You know, the whole remote learning thing, it looks good on paper, but the reality is, for our parents' sake and for our kids' sake, we need to have them in our buildings. And our goal all along was to keep our buildings open for as long as we can. And we know right now that we're in a bit of an uptick here in Reno County. You know, the information that went out today shows that we're trending towards the upper part of the yellow, which means somewhere in the next 1, 2, 3 weeks or so, we may look at a hybrid option. And so this is the whole point of the gating criteria, is to give people the opportunity to make plans. So it's not an overnight like happened last March where, hey, on a Friday the 13th, you're saying, hey, we'll see you Monday. And on Sunday, you learn, no, you won't, and you're done for the year. Exactly. And so, you know, this for lack of a better term, a warning opportunity for us to take at least a week here. The Reno County medical team, it's made up of our county superintendents and various members of the medical community, the Reno County Health Department, get together every Friday morning to take a look at numbers. And then, you know, next Friday about 11 o'clock, an announcement will be made about what we'll look at for the following week. And so right now it's business as usual. We're planning on being in school all week and grinding it out. And kids are working hard. Our teachers, my goodness, they're just investing crazy hours just trying to do the right thing, because there's no playbook for this. You know, so everybody feels like you're kind of making it up as you go along, because you just don't know how do you meet the needs of kids when, you know, all of a sudden you have a quarantine and, you know, 17 kids get, you know, go on quarantine because of an exposure somewhere that may happen in the community. It could happen in the school.
You mentioned the low end of the yellow. That could be something that's out of not a cluster in Hutch High or elementary or HMS 7 or 8, totally someplace else that could put that number over.
Right. We can be doing all the right things. You know, again, I got to give our kids and our staff credit. You know, the mask expectation is just rock solid. You know, it's not 100% because, you know, wearing a mask all day long is hard. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. And I think our kids have really rallied to do the right thing in terms of being masked up, whether it's at our pre-K school or you're at the high school. I've seen them all. Kids are wearing masks, and I think they understand the goal is to keep us in school as long as we can, and this is part of the part we can control, which is making sure that we're as safe as we can be in school.
Shift gears a little bit. How long have you been with Hutchison now?
This is year 26, I believe.
Year 26, so... And I've been doing, this is my 23rd year of broadcasting, so both of us a little long a tooth right there when it comes down to that. And your new grandfather.
Yeah. This summer had an unexpected C-section. My daughter-in-law had a preeclampsia, and just, you know, why they have these routine appointments that you go to because you're supposed to. And she went to one of those routine appointments at, you know, week 24, 25, and found out her blood pressure was off the charts, and they sent her right to Wesley, and they monitored it through the course of the evening, and at 12:30 in the morning they said, either you or your baby are doing well. We're going in right now. And so Madison was born in the wee hours of June 9th, and had just continued. She's going to be a miracle baby and probably $1 million baby all at the same time. And so, it's just been a great experience. Looking forward to meeting her. She's safe at Wesley right now, and the reality is I wouldn't have seen her under normal circumstances. I mean, her due date was maybe a couple days ago, so, you know, hopefully the next day or two I get to meet her in person.
Yeah, that's what you look like on social media, that you said that she's doing well and looks like could be coming home. That's a special time for you and your family. Congratulations to you.
Thank
That's
you.
Exciting.
Yeah,
That's exciting. So what about Weston and where's everybody at?
Yeah, Weston, he wrapped up his high school career last May, and he's at K-State now. He came home today to watch the homecoming game, and he's going to hang around a little bit this weekend. We're going to help some friends move into a new home, and so we're honored to be able to help some friends out. But he's doing well. You know, the hard thing for kids going to college right now is, you know, they're so used to being busy from daybreak to nightfall. And when you get to college and you have so many online classes, it's hard to get a routine. And because you have the social distance in college, the college can't do activities to get kids engaged. So he has a lot of downtime. And I think he's been all the way through Disney Plus and probably halfway through Netflix just trying to.
saw every Star Wars that's out there.
Well,
right
one day he's like, I drove to Ogden. Why would you drive to Ogden? He said, well, I didn't have anything else to do, and so he was just bored. And so, finding ways to, I think, at the college level to keep kids engaged when you know you can't construct activities that you normally would do to help them feel a part of the university.
All right, now the other kids, where they? Well, we know with the family of Madison tied
certainly,
up.
They live here in town. Megan, my daughter-in-law, teaches at Lincoln, and welcome him. Madison home in one of these days, and my daughter McKenna, she's in her second year of marriage. She lives in Wellington. She's a paraprofessional there, and so she's in an education track too. So certainly,
where's she at?
Wellington,
where
she lives. Yeah, very very pleased with her work with kids in the southern part of her state.
Awesome. So they grow up and they go away, but they kind of stay around a little bit, don't they? It's nice to have them come back.
It's interesting from the perspective, for me, an empty nester. I've been waiting for that. My wife's like, he's our last kid. I know that, right? And that's, and moms and dads see things a little differently, but certainly we're very fortunate. We've had great kids, and they had just a great experience in Hutchinson Public Schools. Shout out to all the teachers and the coaches that they had when they were in school, because that's done a lot to shape who they are right now.
We just started at Eagle a new Teacher of the Week, and you can nominate a Teacher of the Week. And matter of fact, you even get a prize if your teacher's picked. So we encourage people to do that. We just started this week, so we're so excited about that. So spread the word on that if you would.
Absolutely.
These teachers need to have a pat on the back.
Well, I wish you offered 15 or 20 awards, because there's a lot of people out there that are really busting it right now, trying to do the right thing for kids, not knowing exactly what that is, but they're working crazy hours.
Good to see the Davis Award winner.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, every chance we have to recognize our teaching staff and certainly our classified employee of the year, Sandra Sanders, is equally deserving as well. Is great recognition. There are lots of deserving people out there, so for a few to rise to the top, it's really a special honor.
Quickly, we'll put your sporting cap on real quick. Let's talk about these Salthawks real quickly. They're really playing some pretty good football over the first three games, and right now they're in a barn burner here, 21-21 tie at halftime. What do you think?
I can think a lot of people pleasantly surprised. I was really concerned after the first two games. While they were both wins, we spotted points to pretty decent teams, but we managed to grind out a win at the end, and I was fearful with May South last week that if we did the same thing, we would not have the ability to come back. And so, I was excited to listen to the game that you and Dan called, because it was just a high-energy, really fun game.
It's the most fun game I've ever called.
It was amazing. The kids just worked, and they work, and they work. And, how do you not enjoy watching Alex McEwen run? Put the ball in his hands and just watch him dragging kids down the field. He just refuses to go down. And I think that embodies the spirit that this program has this year, where everybody's just trying to do that one more thing. Now, certainly Newton's come in, and they've proven to be a very effective at that little mid-range pass, and I think Coach Vernon's going to have to make an adjustment there, because right now we can't gamble on having the ball last at the end of this game to pull out a win. But, I think we'll see which coaches make the best adjustments. But, I don't know that you can, if Newton has the people to stop our running game. When you think of what Noah can do on the side, that change of pace.
61-yarder.
Absolutely. Anytime he's on the perimeter, he can turn a corner. Seriously, good things are going to happen. And then you have McEwen just banging. And then all of a sudden you see Anthony Blackwell or Jalen Barrow just turn and just off tackle, pick up 6, 8, 10. Yep. So really, how do you figure out how to stop an offense that has three monsters like that for three different positions that can get yards effectively on the ground?
Yeah, no point about that. Well, good to see you as always.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the 150 other people you couldn't find to come spend this time with you. I know there had to be a long list of people with other engagements tonight, but I'm happy to help out.
Well, I'll tell your wife the check's in the mail.
Absolutely, yes.
Get that taken care of.
Yeah, she's probably the one that talked and had me come up here to give her a break.
So we're going to take a 2-minute timeout. Thank you, Rick. Rick Krause, you could find assistant superintendent with USD 308. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We're tied at 21-21 all. Second half just around the corner. Dan and I'll be back. Sir will get on the camera, and Joe will head to the sidelines. 21-21 all with Newton. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
I Kansas, just here at Pools Plus, and we are super bummed we won't see you at the fair this year, but we are excited that our inventory is stocked and ready for the big sale. You heard it. The No Fair Fair Sale is going on now at Pools Plus. All spas and outdoor furniture are marked down to an all-time low. All in-stock solar covers are 15% off. Get them while they last. Be sure to call the professionals at Pools Plus and schedule your pool closing before the calendar is full. The No Fair Fair Sale going on at Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, so glad to have you along. Joe Blake's headed to the sideline. I'm going to check in with Joe right now. Joe, time for Hutchinson to get the football as they will receive and take it down the field.
Yeah, and I was wrong about the wind dying down. It's, seemed to be going at the same rate, so that'll have an effect on special teams throughout the rest of this contest.
Yeah, it's important to note that, although the temperature has dropped down to about 82, so it's pretty comfortable. It's going to get to 67 tonight, but you're right. It's sitting right at between 9 and 12 miles per hour, gusting a little bit out of the south-southeast, so we'll see what that does to any type. And I'm looking at a Hutch Hawk fan flag down in the stands right now, and it's blowing pretty brisk out of the south, so you're exactly right. Joe Blake's Sideline Reports brought to you by Jackson Meat at 13 West 6th in Hutchinson, as well as Papa John's Pizza at 17th and Plum. Dan, what do we got to do in this second half to get things going?
Well, Hutchinson has to take care of the football. They did a pretty good job of that in the first half, no turnovers, and as a matter of fact, picked up a railer turnover in the end zone. Yeah. Jack Hoover got a touchdown.
Let's listen to that turnover in the end zone, all right? Eye on number 1 out there if you're in the stands or watching on the stream. Crafts the hands, back to pass, looks right. Ball flips out of his hands, and now he's going to be thrown for a safety. Loose football, could be a TD, and it is! Touchdown, Hutchinson! And that took place in midway through the second period of play. And Dan, you and I both were like looking. It just slipped out of his hands.
It did.
And I thought we were going to have a safety, and it ends up being a touchdown.
Well, that enabled Hutchinson to actually take a 21-14 lead. And then Newton came right back and scored with 13 seconds to play in the second quarter to tie it up. Ben Schmidt had a good first half again, 11 of 14, 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Peyton Maxwell, his favorite receiver, 5 catches, 59 yards and a touchdown. And tonight they're getting a pretty good running game also with Kenyon Forrest picking up 52 yards on 12 carries. Hutchinson, Jack Hoover leading the way on defense with 7 tackles and a touchdown. Defensive players love to score touchdowns.
Yeah, no doubt about that. A couple scoring updates. I know that some interest from Rob Dreher as his stepson plays for Heston. They're playing Wichita Collegiate. A kid from Collegiate kicked the ball 50 yards on a field goal at the end of half, lead it 3-0. A 50-yard field goal by a young high school, again, a 4A kid, so that's saying something there, huh?
That's rare.
And also we have another text, Richard Winger, watching on his 50-inch TV at home. He's with Pools Plus, so appreciate the support, Richard. And here comes the Newton kickoff as its second half is underway, taken at the 8 by Hutchinson. Up the field, they'll bring it, trying to get to the outside. Is that Peterson trying to get back to the 25, and he will. Nifty return by Peterson, so Hutch will have the ball at the 26-yard line when we set up shot and go 1st and 10 from the 26.
Good tackle by Joe Slechta for Newton. This is the 93rd time Hutchinson and Newton High School have played each other in football. Last week, Hutchinson played Mays South for the first time ever in history and won a barn burner 34-33. Tonight, the 93rd meeting between the Salthawks and the Railers.
Wow, long time to play football. Mac, by the way, McPherson on top of Winfield, 21-0 at halftime. We'll get some other scores here in a second. Hutch sends a man in motion, gives it off quickly to McEwen straight up the middle. And McEwen all the way across the 50 and down to the 48-yard line. And just like Rick Krause talked about, he's a quick opener right there. McEwen off to the races to the 48 of Newton.
Big opener between the tackles. That's Hutchinson Salthawk football at its finest.
McEwen's starting to get some interest from a lot of schools. When you put up numbers like he's putting up, it's inevitable. It's not like he's putting up 60, 70 yards a game. 149 in the first outing against Valley Center. Had muscle cramps against Garden City, but 292 yards last week and a whole host of yards tonight. There's a pitch to Kokar on the edge. Gets the edge. Turns it at the 45. Down to about the 40. Still on his feet. Trying to get the first down. And he's shorted by about 2 yards. Noah Kokar cuts inside at the 45 and took it all the way down. They'll mark it right at the 40.
Alec McEwen, Mr. Inside. Noah Kokar, Mr. Outside.
No kidding. Blackwell's going to check out of the lineup. See what Hutchinson substitutes.
In case you're wondering, in those first 92 meetings dating all the way back to 1915, Hutchinson 60 wins, Newton 25, 7 ties.
It's been a good series here of late. With Newton taking the last two. McEwen at the fullback slot to throw on the outside. Kokar. And they dive for the football, but it's going to be an incomplete pass. It is close to being a lateral, but Joe's on the sideline. Take a good look at it. That was a forward pass, Joe, right?
Correct, and Miles Thompson being a lefty might have saved it there. If he were a right-hander and threw that out there, that might have been a lateral.
Good point. Brings up a 3rd down and 2. You going to ask him about that? You're not? Okay. Here we go. McEwen at fullback spot. 3rd and 2. Big down right here.
I'm trying to do the geometry on Joe's comment.
Okay, we'll have to explain it here in a second. Thompson gives off, and little or no gain. Matter of fact, there'll be no gain right up to the 40. So McEwen came up empty, and he's signals to the bench. They want to go for it. It will be 4th down and 2. So Barlow checks into the lineup.
Hutchinson 5 of 10 on 4th down conversion attempts on the season.
Give to McEwen. He's got the first down and more, all the way down to the 32-yard line. He gave the signal to the bench like, hey, let's go ahead and go for it, because he knew he didn't get a good run on that other one. That was a quick opener, kind of a counter to the right, and ends up being a first down run.
Now 6 of 11 on the season on 4th down conversion attempts. And remember that big one by Barlow at Garden
61
City.
yard. Yeah, that one was a 45-yarder. Here, right here, we're sitting at the 33-yard line, the Newton 33, with 9:45 to go in the third quarter. We're tied up 21-all. Hutchinson is taking the opening kickoff down to the 32. Thompson will keep it. Might have been a busted play to the 30-yard line. It looked like it might have been, Dan, that maybe who was supposed to take the ball didn't get it. They'll move it to the 30.
It was the veer option, and I think you're right, Glenn. I think he wanted to hand that ball off to McEwen, but McEwen got past him, and he had no choice other than to keep it himself.
Barlow will be at one of the slots. Kokar at the other one. They'll split out Peterson wide on the left side as Mike Vernon sends in the play. Thompson has it, and now he'll go up and get up behind Doobie. Cooper Doobie, the center for Hutchinson. Offensive line's being awesome. It turns back and says something to McEwen. Thompson does. Now he's under center, man in motion. Gives it to McEwen. Quick opener up to the 20. And he's down close to he has to have the first down by several yards. And Hutchinson will have the ball 1st and 10 on the 20.
Gaping hole at the point of attack. Give a lot of credit to Cooper Doobie, Mason Seitz, and Noah Ragoza.
All right, setting up 1st and 10 from the 20.
A little bit different formation this time. Overloaded to the right.
The right side, they go with it. That's going to be Kokar all the way down to the 10-yard line. Might even have the first down. We'll double-check it.
They're going to give it to him.
All right. Joe Blake on the sideline says He has enough for the first down. It'll become a first and goal from from the 11. First and 10 from the 11. Long snap count. Now Thompson comes up to the line of scrimmage. Looks to his right side. Ball on the right hash mark. The give off to Barlow. All nice all the way down to the 5-yard line. Pickup of about 6 to 7 on the play.
It was the counter play. Hutchinson calls it 34 when they run that play.
2nd and 4 now.
Barlow with a nice pickup.
Barlow trots off the field. Takes a little bit for that to develop.
It does.
Got to get those blocks and hold those blocks a little longer than you do for the quick opener.
Can't allow any penetration into the backfield when you run the counter.
All right, Thompson down under center. Doobie the center. The turn again to McEwen. He bangs a hole hard all the way down to about the 2-yard line.
This drive started on the Hutchinson 26.
3rd down and 1.
First drive of the 3rd quarter.
You can get a first down without getting the touchdown. Hutchinson would like to punch it in right here. They'll mark it at the 2. Usually on these, this year anyway, Thompson has usually taken it himself and try to get that big frame across. They'll send a man in motion. The turn, the give straight away running, not there. Little or no gain on the play.
Stuffed by Nick Antonowicz, the 6'1", 190-pound linebacker who is the leading tackler for the Newton Railers.
Chase Kepler and Fan on that right side didn't get as much of a push as they needed. Brings up a 4th and less than a yard. 4th and about a half a yard to go, but a big play nonetheless. This happening with the 6:45 mark to go in the 3rd quarter play. We're tied at 21. Hutchinson trying to score at the opening kickoff of the 2nd half. Peterson split wide on the right side. See if Thompson sneaks it or not. McEwen sneaks up a little closer. Thompson's going to be in there, and he's going to be in there close to the touchdown. They don't give it to him yet.
First down, but not a touchdown.
It's a 1st and 10.
He extended the football, which can be a little bit of a risky thing to do, but he's had success doing that.
Bob Hunter caught a beautiful picture of him extending the football last week for the go-ahead TD. So 1st and goal now. He has the first down. Joe Blake sideline report.
Right back to it. McEwen set up.
Yep, here he goes. Trying to get it over. Thompson trying to put the ball over, and he does. Touchdown, Hutchinson. Salthawks take the lead at 27 to 21. So the Salthawks getting in for the touchdown on a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Now to point after touchdown to try to give the lead back to Hutchinson.
Something to note, we got Alec McEwen getting stretched out for apparent cramps. And
yeah, we saw that at Garden City. That's not a good sign.
Here's the point after. The kick is on its way. It's no good. No, is it good?
No good.
It's no good. So Carter Boo with his first missed field point after, and it's 27 to 21. We'll take a quick half-minute break. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
All right, 27-21. That point after, not any good. And that's the first one Boo's missed in his career as a point after kicker.
It's a historic
it really
point after touchdown. Carter Boo going into that one, 28 of 28. That's a pretty doggone good percentage. 28 of 29 is pretty impressive also.
So here comes the kickoff by Hutchinson. And it's going to be taken out about the 15 by Newton. They'll angle to the right side. Trying to turn the corner. He's tripped up. Trying to turn it over there was Luke Hurst, Jr. And was there a fumble on the play?
No, there was a
Here comes
little
the flag.
extracurricular going on there.
Yep.
And Hutch is going to get caught for the penalty here. Newton was the first one to act, but Hutchinson got caught acting.
All right.
It was an excellent tackle by Nolan Cunningham on the special teams. He got him by the ankle and tripped him up, got down the field quickly. Unfortunate penalty after the tackle. And I don't think it was against Nolan Cunningham.
Yeah, one of the Salthawks got pushed by the returner after the play. And then I guess the flag's going to be for some words, I think, by the Salthawks.
All righty. So they're conferring down at the 20-yard line. That was an excellent play to drop him for no gain on the play. After coming up with it was Hirsch. And they'll confer.
Yeah, they're thinking this one over a little while.
And writing down in their little notepads, and it's going to be against Hutchinson. So Joe is correct. And it's a big one all the way up to the 33-yard line. So Newton will have the football from that mark. And Mike Vernon's talking with the referees. Did they eject somebody? I could not tell. Joe, what's going on?
No, he's just talking. He wants them to call that first push because, I mean, it was blatant. I don't know how they missed it, but, I mean, it always is the second guy that gets caught.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly right. Joe Blake's Sideline Reports brought to you by Jackson Mead as well as Papa John's Pizza. All right, now we get set to get going. Throw by Schmidt. The catch is made at the 40. Angles forward for a pickup of a couple yards. He might have the first down.
Schmidt to Schmidt.
Jake Schmidt Jr. Got to be a brother. He's a junior at Newton. So Schmidt to Schmidt, you're right, up to the 44-yard line.
Could be a law firm.
First and 10. First and 10 for Newton.
5:40 to play in the third quarter. Hutchinson leads Newton 27-21 here at Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson.
Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, along with Sarah Peterson and Joe Blake. Taking a pass, will give it off to Forrest. He bangs into one of his own men, and then he gets loose across the 50 into Salthawk territory at about the 49-yard line. Hutch had him wrapped up for little or no gain, and he popped loose. He's a deceiving running back.
Kenyon Forrest is a pretty strong young man at 5'10", 185 pounds. He's a workhorse so far tonight. Getting more carries than he has typically been awarded.
Railers with a second down and a long three inside of Salthawk territory at the 49. Long snap count by Schmidt. Now he claps his hands, claps again. Here comes the snap back to him, gives off to Forrest, and he's dropped that right at the line of scrimmage. Hutchinson defensively coming up big time.
Ben Patterson filled the hole in a hurry. I don't think we mentioned yet, homecoming queen.
Yeah, Emily Wood. You're right. We said it to ourselves off. Emily Wood, a senior at Hutch High, active in theater. One of Sarah Peterson's very good friends.
Candidates were Brooklyn Blything, Raven Bright, Elise Howard, Ava Ramirez, Perla Rodriguez, and Emily Wood is the fall 2020 homecoming queen.
One of the prettiest girls in high school. I'll tell you what, she is just dynamic. All right, Newton. Back in the shotgun, Schmidt fakes the handoff. Well, there was a hole. They got away. Throws it back to the screen, and Forrest has it. He leans forward, has the first down. And they're going to mark it at the 43-yard line. I'm really surprised a hold wasn't called back in that backfield as Schmidt was trying to throw the ball away.
It's a play that takes a long time to develop because he fakes the handoff to Forrest. Then it looked like it was going to be a bootleg to the right. He planted and threw the ball back to Forrest.
First and 10 now. Nose of the football at the 42 of Hutchinson. So Schmidt will send wide receivers left and right. They'll go with two on the near side on the bottom of your screen if you're watching on the HutchPost.com screen. There's a drop football. Maxwell just flat dropped it. Started to run with the football before he had it tucked away. Scoring update. And this is third quarter score right here. Is Valley Center 14, Salina Central 6.
Oh, I'm glad you said Valley Center because I made a bad mistake last week during the broadcast. Valley Center played Pleasant Hill, Missouri last week at Baker and picked up the win.
McPherson on top of Winfield 28-0. Be sure and tune in to Nick Gosnell's KWBW scoreboard at 10 o'clock tonight for all the scores and updates. Schmidt hands it off to Forrest, has some room, but he's stopped right at the 41. Pickup of a 1 yard, hard-fought yard, 3rd down and 9. Key down right here at this time of the ball game.
Notice on the sideline, they're still working on Alec McEwen, and it appears to me like they're working on both legs. They had the rolling pin out on the left leg on his calf muscle, and now they're stretching out the right leg.
So big 3rd down here. 3rd down, and we'll call it 8 for Newton. See if Hutchinson brings one or not. See if they come with the blitz.
Watch out for the scramble.
Back to pass to the right side. He's scrambling. Your right catch is intercepted by the Salthawks at the 40, to the 50, down to the 40. Hudson on their way all the way down the sidelines. 15-10. Finally ran out of bounds at the 10-yard line. One heck of a job done by the Salthawks on that far side. And of course, Hutchinson coming up with the pick was Cunningham. Nolan Cunningham with the pick.
And we'll wait for the official stats, but it appeared to me that that was about a 60-yard
Yeah, I think you're right. Right out around the 40s where he picked it up. And down he went. Number 19, Nolan Cunningham.
Somewhere between a 45 and 60-yard return of that interception, and it was one of those that went through the receiver's hands. It should have been a completion. Went through his hands, and Nolan Cunningham picked it off and ran the other way.
Now, Hutchinson with a great opportunity right here. And with the football at about the...
They'll change the play here. Play clock.
Yeah, if they're going to check it with the play clock.
And timeout.
Yeah, timeout's going to be taken. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. Your score with 2:24 to go in the 3rd period of play, Hutch 27, Newton 21. And we'll be back right after this 30-second timeout.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post morning news in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Well, they gave him 53 yards on the pick as the ball was popped up straight up in the air, Dan, and Cunningham was able to play center fielder and come up with it.
When you catch a football or a basketball, you have to put your hands together so it doesn't go between them. That's what happened on that play.
So Hutchinson with a 1st and 10 from the 12 after the timeout taken by Hutch. 2:24 to go in this 3rd period of play. Great opportunity here for the Salthawks. Fan gets over and gets the snap count correctly. Now Thompson's ready to go. Turn to give, straight ahead running. Barlow with the football up to about the 10-yard line. Forward progress stop there. But Newton's made good adjustments up in the middle right there. McEwen got that one nice run at the start of the 3rd quarter to get things going. But since then, they packed it up in the middle, and Barlow met that one head on.
That'll open up things for Kokar on the outside.
Barlow in at that fullback spot due to McEwen still getting worked on with the leg cramps.
We talked about it in pregame. Just take what the defense gives you.
2nd down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Man of motion. They give it to Barlow. Barlow gets about 2 or 3 yards, and he's stacked up. So pickup of, I think they're going to give him 3. It's going to bring up a key 3rd down and 5 situation for Hutchinson.
Keep in mind, even though Alec McEwen is special good at fullback, Jalen Barlow he's a good running back also.
Yeah, he hits the hole so hard. I think they're better with him in there at a slot for blocking purposes.
So unselfish. Love the way these players are willing to do whatever they're asked to do to help their team win.
So Blackwell at the right slot and Kokar at the left slot. The turn to give on the slant. It's going to be into the end zone. McEwen. Touchdown McEwen from 5, about 7 yards out. With 1:02 to go in the 3rd period of play.
Set up by the Nolan Cunningham interception and 53-yard return.
And Alec comes off the field immediately and is telling his teammates, I'm going to need stretch. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for the rest of the game.
McCune with his second touchdown of the night.
Yeah, you can tell it's tightening up on him. Let's see if Carter Blue can start a new streak of successful PATs.
Carter Blue, here comes the kick. It's up and on its way. It is not any good.
In high school, that should be blown dead immediately when Newton recovers it.
So we'll take a timeout with Hutchinson leading 33-21 with 1 minute and 2 to go in the third period. We'll be back in a half minute.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. 1:02 to go in this quarter of play. In the third quarter of play, 33-21 right now. Hutchinson with the lead, and Travis Boo, which is Carter Boo's dad, just came in and gave you the finger waggle.
Can't blame us. We didn't say a word about the streak on the air. We did not.
And now he's missed a couple, so he's got to get it together here.
Neither one were really his fault.
No, he wasn't.
That one definitely wasn't his fault. It was a blocked kick attempt. Can't do much about that as a kicker.
Hutchinson leading here. Here comes the kick. A good kick. Taken right at the 15-yard line by the return man, and across, that's going to be Hirsch. He's going to be stopped after just a little bit of a return. They'll mark it right out about the 24-yard line. So Newton with work to be done, and we're inside the last minute of play here in the third quarter. And Hutchinson leading at 33-21.
Hutchinson winning the turnover battle and converting those turnovers into points. 13 points scored off Newton turnovers, and that's kind of been the story of Newton's season. They've been giving up scores on turnovers, but it's a high-risk, high-reward type of offense that Newton runs.
So Newton set to do battle here. 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. They'll fake the pass. They'll get it off, the pass off. They fake the handoff, that is, and picking up 12 positive yards was Newton. Now that wide receiver spot, Jake Schmidt. So a nice catch over there, and yards after the run.
Give that Salthawk defense credit for 13 of the points of those 33 scored by Hutchinson, and Hutchinson leads at 33-21 late in the third quarter.
1st and 10 for Newton. So he picked up about 13 yards. Schmidt, the quarterback, fakes the pass to the right side, rolls to his right, and close to knocking him out, and they will get a loss on the play. Is over there with good defense for Hutchinson was Ben Patterson. Also, Emilio Martinez really put the pressure on, just didn't get to him. Loss on the play of about 7, 2nd and 17. Ball of the nose of the football on the 30-yard line. Want to remind everybody we'll have a Titan Home Services play of the game, and I'll tell you what, we're going to have a few to pick from. Right now, I may be saying that Jack Hopper fumble recovery might be it.
That would be my vote. That really changed the tone of the football game.
They want to throw the football, and they come across. They got a quick opener across the 40, picks up much of that yardage that Schmidt lost. And Forrest picks it up to about the 42-yard line. 3rd down and 5 is what we're going to call.
It's a close contest between that Jack Hopper fumble recovery for a touchdown in the second quarter and the interception with the 53-yard return by Nolan Cunningham.
Because that set up this last touchdown. There's your quarter. We're going to go to the fourth quarter play with Hutchinson leading at 33-21. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salt Hawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back. Special thanks to our board operator, Trace Salzbrenner. He's doing a great job tonight. Stuart Haddad helping him out as well. Glad to have Trace on board. Right now, 3rd down and 5. A key play from Newton. They'll throw it across, and the catch is made. They have the first down inside of Salt Hawk territory. Stop is made out there by Hutchison. He's coming in on the stop, doing a nice job with Devin Hackney.
That was the tight end, Braden Botterwick, again with another catch.
Devon doing a nice job of sure tackling there. Saved maybe a touchdown. 48-yard lines where the nose of the football is. That was a big 3rd down and 5 toss right there by Schmidt. Tim Schmidt Sr.
2 Newton turnovers, the difference in this football game.
And the fake to get the forced. He's going to fake the pass, and he picks up maybe 3 yards, up to about the 44-yard line of Newton.
One of those turnovers, a fumble. The other one, an interception. And that really, those 2 plays are the difference in the game.
They're both huge. Nolan Cunningham with the pick.
And we don't want to forget about early in the game, Noah Kokar's 61-yard touchdown run.
Guess we could have 3, couldn't we? They fake on the pass. They'll throw it downfield. Oh, and just in and out of the hands for Hutchison. Stephon Hunter back there, and he's hitting himself on the helmet right now. That could have been a pick 6.
It could.
Stephon Hunter was waiting for it, and Kenzer Newquist didn't realize that he was waiting for it and made a nice play, but with Hunter waiting for it, it may have been better to
incomplete
let it go.
Pass.
But he can't control that.
When you throw the ball as much as Newton does, you are prone to throw a few interceptions.
3rd down and 7. Those are the football on the Hutch 44. Schmidt will go with a stacked backfield now with Forrest behind him. Back to pass is Schmidt. Goes across. Receivers caught over there by the tight end. Actually, one of the wide receivers, number 81 out there, makes the catch for Newton.
Tight end screen.
Yeah, that's Botterwick. That's the second big catch he's made in the ball game.
Don't see tight end screens very often.
That one took a little bit of time to develop, but a nice job by Newton to move the chains for the 1st and 10. It'll be from the 34-yard line.
Newton has moved the football. It's just that they've turned it over a couple of times.
1st and 10 from the Hutchinson 34-yard line. Schmidt wants to throw it. It'll be back across in a screen of Forrest, and a whole host of Hudson Salthawks stop him at the 35. Forward progress to the 34 brings up no gain on the play.
Dangerous pass thrown laterally all the way across the field.
33-21, Hutchinson with the lead with 10:07 to go in the 4th quarter of play. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Joe Blake on the sidelines, courtesy of Jackson Meat and Papa John's Pizza. And Sarah Peterson for HutchPost.com, the video photographer.
Congratulations to homecoming queen Emily Wood and homecoming king Xavier Smith.
I'm so excited for both of them. Emily's such a sweetheart of a girl. Been in many shows with Family Community Theater with Emily. So has granddaughter Sarah. She's a sweetheart. And timeout's going to be taken by the Newton Railers. We're going to break in. A 30-second timeout coming your way. 2nd down and 10 from the 34 of Hutchinson. Newton with the football with 9:39 to go in the contest, trailing 33-21. Hutch on top. We'll be back in a half minute.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! from Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Joe Blake on the sideline just explained his geometry, and we should never doubt Joe Blake, Dan.
Well,
we didn't know which way he was turned. That's where you and I were looking confused.
Geometry and calculus maybe have some similarities. I was going to get Rusty Hilst on the phone.
He left us dangling is what he did.
Okay.
All right now.
All right, now Newton called a timeout with 9:39 to go in this fourth period of play. Pretty important call right here on 2nd down and 10. See if Hutchinson makes any adjustments. Newton's moved the football here in this fourth quarter of play, like you said, Dan. Just a couple turnovers have went against him. And they fake it. Now he goes across the field, has a wide-open receiver at the 15. Touchdown by Martin. Touchdown by Newton. Let's see if they go for 2 or not. 9:31 remaining to go in this fourth quarter of play, and it makes it 33-27. Probably won't because of the fact that the differential is 6 right now. You could make it 5 with the point after.
Well,
was Martin ever wide open.
That's a play that is very difficult to cover if you don't get pressure on the quarterback. And that time the Newton offensive line gave Schmidt enough time to roll to his right, plant, throw it all the way diagonally across the field to his left to a wide open Xavion Martin.
Martin with the catch, caught it at the 15. Point after kick is good. Your score with 9:31 to go in the fourth quarter of play. It's the Salthawks 33, Newton 28. We'll wait the Newton kickoff coming away right after this 30-second timeout.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Newton's kickoff coming, 33-28 now. Hutchinson with the lead. Newton with lots of room left.
Still got a ball game. Newton could go for an onside kick here. They've had difficulty stopping the Hutchinson offense. Might not be a bad gamble.
I've had a couple people connect with me to say on TuneIn now, our stream was off. It's because of a Windows update. Mark Atkins got it fixed. We appreciate it, Mark. And now we were also on the BW app, and that's probably the best thing to use. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be taken out about the 15-yard line by Hutchinson, trying to turn the corner out there and not getting it done. I think that was Peterson on the return. And he gets it back to about the 21-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Salthawks from the 21. Work to be done, Dan.
This game is not over. Definitely would like to see Hutchinson march down the field and answer back with another touchdown.
1st and 10 from the Hudson 21-yard line, Hudson with the football with 9:25 to go in the contest. Just need one of those patented, 9-minute drives right here and get a score. Make it easier on yourself. Defense has been called on the last 2 ball games to save the game. To give quickly up the middle, it's going to be McEwen, and he knifes his way to the 30. Was one step maybe away from breaking it. Joe, you have a better angle. He's been fighting cramps all night long, but did a great job right there, taking it up to a 30, just about a yard short of the first down.
Right, and I think Newton having such a long drive with the quarter break in between has helped McEwen because he's able to get more rest. And you always talk about keeping the offense off of the field, or the defense off of the field, but in this case,
get hydrated. Get hydrated as well. You bet. He's sitting there still at that fullback slot. He comes over and talks to Barlow. Barlow at the slot on the left side. Fullback is McEwen. Right side slot is Kokar. The turn to give on a counter to Barlow. Can't turn the corner. He's going to be stacked up for a loss on the play. They're going to say back to the original line of scrimmage at the 30. So 3rd down is short now, Dan Nacarado, and see what we call right here. Do we just go safe with Thompson to lean in and get the first down, or you try to pop one?
I think you want to chew out yards and burn up clocks, so I think you probably play it safe.
So Thompson brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Let's see if he calls the number of Doobie. Get a big hole for him or not. Thompson hands it off this time. McEwen battling for the yards, and he's got it. Needed 1 and got 2. McEwen comes last one to come off the stack. He's going to be okay. Let's flip. Actually, Blackwell will check out the contest. Out wide is Peterson now at a first down and 10. Ball on the 32-yard line, Hutchinson's 32-yard line. Clock at the 7:52 mark, so Hutch has knocked off about a minute and a half already. You got to move the chains, however. Here's a keeper by Thompson. The pitch to Kokars has the edge. He's at the 30-yard line to the 35, turns around to the 40. Close to the first down, but probably about a yard away.
Kokar is nearing 100 yards on the night.
Love watching him score. Poison and Cardinals in third quarter on top of Phillipsburg, 26-21. In Garden Plain, 19, Douglas 0.
Hutchinson scheduled to play at Derby 1 week from tonight, but that game is a little bit in question. Derby canceled their game tonight against Salina South.
Second down and 3 for Hutchinson. Ball at the 39-yard line. No gain on the play. Straight away running. And it will bring up a third down and 2. So pick up a yard on the play. Ball right at the 40-yard line. Clock moving with 7:19 to go in the third. Hutchinson up by a touchdown, a little less, 33-28. 5-point spread. Thompson, the quarterback, talks to his offensive line. Start to send a man in motion, pulls back a little bit.
Yeah, they were trying to pull.
At 6.
Trying to pull Newton offside.
Yeah, I better go with a timeout. There'll be a timeout call with third down and 2. 6:52 to go in the fourth quarter of play. We'll take a half-minute break. We'll be back with more from Gowan Stadium in 30 seconds.
Hi, Kansas. Jess here at Pools Plus, and we are super bummed we won't see you at the fair this year, but we are excited that our inventory is stocked and ready for the big sale. You heard it. The No Fair Fair Sale is going on now at Pools Plus. All spas and outdoor furniture are marked down to an all-time low. All in-stock solar covers are 15% off. Get them while they last. Be sure to call the professionals at Pools Plus and schedule your pool closing before the calendar is full. The No Fair Fair Sale going on at Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Well, here is 6:52 to go in the fourth quarter of play. Hutch up by 5 as a third down and 2 call. Start the fourth quarter, Nickerson Panthers trailing Holcomb 27-18 in that contest. Haven't heard anything about Inman and Oakley. Inman had to go all the way out to Oakley today. Here's the third down and 2 call. A giveaway quickly up to McEwen. He has the first down, and he got that on his own.
What a collision.
He flat got that on his own because he was hit at the line of scrimmage, and he just worked his way forward and took some yards with him.
That was a bone-crushing collision.
Yes, it was. First and 10 now for Hutchinson. 6:43 to go, and another timeout's going to be taken on the field. 6:43 to go in the contest. 33-28. Hutch on top. Hutch with the football. First and 10 from their own 43-yard line. We'll be back right after this 30-second break.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Welcome back, Joe Blake. What a stop right there. What a bone-jarring tackle by Newton, but the first down was made.
Yeah, that's just Alec McEwen for you. I mean, he's going to get that first down no matter what.
Thompson with the keeper. One to toss it, did not. Turns it across the 50. Pick up about 8 on the play. Inside of Newton territory. Nose of the football will be right at the 50.
That's a smart senior quarterback who understands the game situation. It was not worth the risk of trying to pitch it on the run downfield in traffic.
I'm glad he didn't, because he lost me on the last time he did that. He lost all of us up there. Maybe Sarah wasn't faked out, but I was. Brings up his second down and 3 now from the 50 for Hutchinson. Clock moving along. It's 6:08 to go. Thompson back to pass, looks left, wants to throw it, wants to go long. He's got a receiver out there. It's caught by touchdown, Hutchinson. 5:58 to go in the fourth quarter play. A 50-yard strike to Kokar. What a pass by Thompson. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my.
Now we have another candidate for play of the game.
That might have to grab it right there. Whoa, goodness. Thompson to Kokar from 50 yards out. What a call, because they thought they were going to stack it up, and it went long, and it's 39-28.
Just the third pass attempt by Thompson in this football game.
Here comes the point after. Kick is on its way up, and it is good, and Hutchinson takes a 40-28 lead with 5:58 to go in the fourth quarter away. Don't go away. Hutch's kickoff coming your way in 30 seconds.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Oh, my, what a play call right there by Coach. Here's what it sounded like if you missed it. The receiver out there is to go in the fourth quarter play, a 50-yard strike to Kokar. And that doesn't do it justice because I started it too early there, Dan, but what a play by Kokar.
That was good.
And right now that has to be, we got a lot of good ones to pick from. Our Titan Home Services play of the game, the actual HutchPost.com play of the game. Here comes the kickoff. 5:58 to go. It's going to be into the end zone for the touchback, and just under 6 to go in the contest. Hutchinson's opened it up right now, a 12-point lead, but the defense still has work to be done. As Newton's a high-powered offense, they can score and score quickly, Dan.
That's true. The defense needs to keep them in front so no one gets behind them for a quick strike score. But the thing is, Newton has already burned 2 timeouts this half, so since Newton needs 2 scores, you kind of like Hutchinson's chances right now.
Joe Blake, you pound it, and all of a sudden, boom, you go long.
Yeah, and what a play call by the offense there. I mean, had Newton defense on their toes, ready, prepared for the run, and then they hit him deep. Newton was not ready for that.
Joe Blake on the sidelines, brought to you by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza.
And they still had to execute, which they did well.
Yes. Back to pass. Schmidt, little screen pass, and they drop it. Maxwell in and out of his hands. Brings up a 2nd down and 10.
That play was going nowhere. Devin Hackney was right on top of it.
I get a kick out of Devin's grandmother down in Texas. We might be pronouncing that right. Devon? Is it Devin or Devon? Which is it? It's Devin. Okay. I apologize.
We have listeners from Texas to Toronto to North Dakota, and we appreciate all of them.
All right, here we go. Schmidt, the quarterback, looking to maybe blitz from that outside. Hutchinson kind of cheating over there a little bit. Here they come. Schmidt wants to throw it. He's going to go long. He has a receiver out there, but he can't extend and get to the ball. Incomplete pass. Great coverage out there by Hackney. Maxwell, the incomplete receiver.
That's the type of play Newton connects on frequently. That pass just a little bit out of reach, and, he overthrew him into the wind. Showed a pretty good arm.
All right, Newton will face now a 3rd down and 10.
That kind of tires you out as a receiver also when you run that far downfield and then have to sprint back to run the next play.
40-28, Hutchinson. Gives straight up the middle. Nothing there. That defense stacks it up. It's going to bring 4th down and 10. Newton's going to have to punt the football away.
Did Newton take a timeout? Why did the clock stop?
I can't find an explanation as to why either.
Oh, the helmet came off. That's why they stopped the ball. Thank you, Sarah.
That's Sarah Blake running the video.
Sarah Blake.
That's Sarah Peterson running the video ahead,
giving us a analysis right there.
Sarah Peterson.
Back to passes. Schmidt on 4th down. Goes to the air. Catch is made. Ball pops loose. Incomplete pass.
Whoa, Joe Peterson. Joe Blake.
They'll say an incomplete pass. Hutch will take over, and that's pretty well going to do it. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 on the Newton 22.
How did you see the coverage on that play, Joe?
Well, Mad Dog Hinahaw timed that play perfectly. I mean, the receiver was there to make it, but Mad Dog was there, delivered the hit, and then the ball was kicked off at the receiver's leg, and Stephon Hunter had a shot at it, but maybe good that he dropped it, saved about 15 yards.
Yeah, 5:11, to go into 4th quarter play. 1st and 10 for Hutchinson. Salthawks lead at 40-28. They hang on to this lead the first time since 2011?
2009.
2009, so 11 years.
Last time Hutchinson
and that was an undefeated season. Gives straight away running. There's an opening by Hutchinson, and into the end zone goes McEwen from 22 yards out. He ran half of that backwards. 5:04 to go in the contest. McEwen with his 3rd touchdown of the night. From 22 yards out to make it 46-28. Extra point by Boo, forthcoming. This 4th quarter has been all Salthawks with the exception of Newton scored with 9:31 to go in the contest. Here's the hold. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And Hutchinson leads it 47-28. We'll be back with the Hutchinson kickoff coming up right after this 30-second timeout.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need delivered with speed. The lowest price is guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, so glad to have you along with Joe Blake on the sideline, Sarah Peterson on the video camera, as Hutchinson has blown this one open with 5:04 to go in this 4th quarter of play, 47-28. McEwen, he literally backpedaled about, 10 yards out of that 22?
He broke that initial resistance.
Here comes the kickoff. It's going to be taken by Maxwell from the 8. He sidesteps, trying to get outside. He does. Get to the 20. Now he's going to go back the other way. He's going to lose yardage all the way back, and they'll give him forward progress at the 16, and that's being pretty liberal with it as well. So 4:56 to go in the contest, 47-28. All Hutchinson here in the 4th quarter of play.
This season, you kind of take it hour by hour, not let alone week by week. But if it does turn out to be a standard playoff scenario at the end of the 8 regular season games, it would be nice to maintain a plus 13 point
exactly,
spread.
because the last 2 weeks you have not able to do that with 1-point wins. And that they take a percentage, then they do if you're tied, it's a head-to-head type of thing, and then they go, the last thing they go to is on that 13-point
That's right.
differential.
But
they've changed it a little bit this year.
It frequently comes into play, though.
Yeah, they've changed the format because of the COVID-19 situation.
You can have up to a plus 13 on the point spread in your wins.
Schmidt, the quarterback, back to pass. Steps out of the pocket, but now he goes left side. Catch is made over there, but short of the first down. Nice defense to throw him out of bounds. Pick up about 9 on the play, though. And Maxwell with the catch. He's a fine receiver.
That ball was a difficult throw because it was from the right hash all the way to the left sideline.
2nd and 1. Hutchinson with the defense out on the field has played well tonight. As of yet, they've not been put into a last 2-minute defensive stance that they've had to take. Back to pass is Schmidt. Screen pass, and it's going to be read right at the 25. Hopper right there to grab a hold of an ankle. And it's no gain on the play, 3rd down and 1. Not a bad call on 2nd down and 1.
Hopper was not fooled, though. He stayed at home in his linebacker position and made the tackle immediately after the ball was caught.
3rd down and 1, no gain on the play. Schmidt, the quarterback, with 4:19 to go. Probably a 2-down situation for them because of the fact that they went for it when it was 4th and 10 a little while ago. Back to pass, Schmidt. Throws on the left side, catch is made, 1st down as Martin catches it. Right at about the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 from the Newton 37.
1st down, and he got out of bounds, so now Newton doesn't have to hurry up to the ball to run another play right away.
Stops the clock with 4:04 to go. Hutchinson on the road, we hope, down to Derby next week. It's questionable. You never know. Derby had looked like they were going to have to postpone their game with Salina South early in the week, and then because of COVID-19, but then they decided the game was on, and then today at the 11th hour, pulled the plug again.
Tough situation.
And what's bad about that, the South was not able to find another game. 1st and 10 now for Newton. Back to pass. They'll throw it on the left side, a little screen over there. And out of bounds, steps Forrest. If it stops the clock, it will. Loss on the play, however, of a couple yards. Campus unable to get, they had to cancel their 2 games. Carter Young limps off the field. Campus had to cancel their next 2. So this one and also next week. There were other games. Great Bend was canceled out today at the last second.
Mulvane, I saw, was canceled.
2nd down and 13 now for Newton. Back to pass, the Railers. The side catch is made by Maxwell. It dances out of bounds, picked up about 6 yards, marking right at the 40. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Campus was scheduled to play at Mays South tonight.
Yes.
And originally they were supposed to play Wichita Northwest next week.
And what about was Andover canceled also, or was that a different game I'm thinking of?
Well, it could be. Remember, the Wichita schools canceled all their games with anybody outside the Wichita League. So Campus maybe replaced Wichita Northwest with a team that then had to cancel.
Bishop Carroll all over Dodge City, last score I saw. Back to pass is Schmidt. There's a whole bunch of Salthawks after him. Pick is made by Hutchinson on the pick.
Devin
Hackney comes up with the interception right at the 30-yard line. He played center field on that one just back and was able to snag that one away. And Hackney with the interception. He about got one last week. Now he got one this week. 3:41 to go in the contest. Hutchinson will take over at their own 30-yard line.
This is a situation that the Salthawks do not need any more points. They just want to run out the clock, hold on to the football, pick up a few 1st downs, and be celebrating a big win that will take them to 4-0.
3:41 remaining to go in the contest. Hutchinson 47, Newton 28. This avenges a couple years of losses by the Salthawks. There's a timeout on the field. We're going to keep it here, Dan. As you go back a couple years, Newton's has had Hutchinson's number the last couple years.
Well, last year Hutchinson was pretty much in control of the game and then fumbled in the 4th quarter late on their own 25-yard line. Hutchinson had the lead, but then gave up a score to Newton very late in that game last year to lose it 24-21. And the year before that, it was a shootout with Newton coming out on top 42-35. As we said earlier, this is the 93rd time Hutchinson and Newton have played each other in football. Hutchinson has 60 wins through the years, Newton with 25, and there were 7 ties. They used to let games end in ties.
Stay tuned at 10 o'clock tonight. Nick Gosnell with his scoreboard show. KWW scoreboard show goes from 10 to 10:30. And don't forget the Medicine Shop post-game report coming your way. We'll have the stats after the game as well as in the coaches show coming your way, sponsored by the Medicine Shop.
Anthony Blackwell, fullback.
Yes, right up the middle and contact made.
This is a completely second-string group besides Thompson. And
Thompson's the only one in. There's Blackwell that lost. Did he cough it up? Yes, he did. It will be a fumble on the play, and now both teams with substitutes in there with 3:37 to go. Looks like Newton's going to have the football from the 30-yard line as Blackwell fumbled on the play. Hobber's going to still be out there defensively along with Cunningham and Newquist, several other Salthawks. Tell you what, this defense just continues to get better. They weren't as sharp tonight. They're letting those little slant patterns, Dan, go for pretty positive yardage. But yet, they came up with the picks that they needed.
Well, that's
the secondary
right.
is starting to mold a little bit.
Give the Hutchinson defense credit for scoring 13 points tonight, even though the offense had to punch in from the 12-yard line on one of those occasions.
Smith, the quarterback, wants to throw the football. They got to go to the air. They go to the air anyway. There's a catch made by Martin. He slides by one player at the 10, down to the 5, down to the 4, down to the 2-yard line. First and goal for Newton from the 2-yard line with 3:26 to go in the contest.
Hutchinson with a 19-point lead. If you give up a quick score here, you just don't want to give up a couple onside kicks and let anything slip away.
Yeah, 3:26 to go in the contest. Hutchinson's got this all but salted away. It's everything but the clock moving. Newton quarterback Schmidt. He's quarterback the whole way tonight. Has Forrest as his running back right behind him. He gives the pass, a little slant pattern to Martin off his fingertips, incomplete, stops the clock with 3:08 to go. Second down and goal.
So we hope to be with you again a week from tonight at Derby, but
hold on, we got a flag of late.
Late flag, huh?
Yeah, coming from the back judge. I think it's going to go against the Salthawks.
Saw someone with their helmet off, but I didn't know what was happening with it.
See what the call is going to be for the white hat. All right, something called on the defense, and we have the distance to the goal, so we'll have it at the 1.5-yard line.
It'll be hands to the face on the Salthawks.
Okay, thank you.
So games coming up scheduled at Derby a week from tonight, at Salina South 2 weeks from tonight.
First and goal from we'll call it the 1-yard line for Newton. Schmidt, the quarterback, keeps it himself, steps into the end zone for a TD. So the touchdown by Schmidt with 3:05 to go in the contest makes it 47-34. So I'm going to give him a yard on the run by Schmidt. Takes it in unassisted. And it's 47-34 your score. They're getting set for the point after. Schmidt will be the holder for Newton. I've always thought that's kind of dangerous a little bit with your quarterback's hands down there. There's a kick up and good. So 47-35 is your score right now with 3:05 to go in this fourth quarter play. We'll take a 30-second timeout, await the Newton kickoff when we return right after this.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Welcome back. Awaiting the Newton kickoff right now, 47-35, a 12-point difference. Knack, there's plenty of time for an onside. There's plenty of time for lots of things.
It's happened before in Kansas high school football.
We might have had that horse wiped down and put away in the barn a little too soon, huh? We'll see. Newton will kick it off and expect an onside kick, I believe. Because the way the Hudson offense has been tonight, they can eat up that 3:05 pretty quickly. Newton does not have any. Newton has one timeout left. Hutchinson does not have any timeouts left, nor should you need them.
This is a case where he'll probably just try to kick it where he sees some open green space.
So I'm predicting on that either left or right side at about the Hutch 30. He can get it across that first surge right there. or second surge, I should say. There's it goes. It's going to be covered up at the 50-yard line. Is that McEwen up there? Yes, it was. McEwen took in
had the hands team in there.
It sure did. So Hutch will have it right at the 50. Last time they had it at the 50, they went long. I doubt that. I think they're going to just grind this one out. And starter back in there.
It's the starting unit back on the field, which I completely concur with at this point. 3:04 to play. It's a 12-point game. Better go back to the starting offense and take care of the football.
Cooper Doobie and Seitz along with Ragoza, Kepler, and Fan. It's your big guys up front, left to right as I listed them. The gift to McEwen straight away, running, has some room. He's out to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. Touchdown. He stiff-armed him high at the 15 and said, "We'll see you later." Touchdown, Alex McEwen from 50 yards out. Wow, that was impressive.
Well, that's answering the call. You never know how it's going to work out when you take the starters out and then put them back in for a series. Obviously, this football team was well equipped to handle it.
All right, the point after now, 53-35 is your score, and that probably broke the back of Newton. Point after kick is good, and your score with 2:55 to go in the ball game. Hutch 54, Newton 35. We'll be back in 30.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Well, 2 out of the last 3 scores have been Hutch highs, and what a job by McEwen. First of all, he covered up on the onside kick, got it at the 50, then he gets up and he goes 50 yards, stiff arms one at the 15-yard line and took it into the end zone for 6. That's at his 4th or 5th touchdown? How many tonight? Got a bunch, I know that.
I'll have to get out my calculator.
4 for sure.
I need my abacus to count these up.
2:55 to go in the contest. Great job by the Salthawks.
That was his 4th.
That was his 4th touchdown. And into the end zone it goes. So it will be a touchback, and Newton will have the ball with 2:55 to go. Joe Blake, we haven't seen this kind of offensive explosion by the Salthawks in a long, long time, my friend.
Yeah, and it is good to see it. It's just old school Salthawk football and running the ball and just simply outpowering Newton.
And we were tied at 21 all at halftime. Newton scored right before the half to make it 21 all. Scored at the 13-second mark with a Schmidt 2-yard run. And since after that, Thompson with a 1-yard run, McEwen with a 7-yard run, and then a 50-yard pass to Kokar, and then the 22-yard run by McEwen, and now a 50-yard run by McEwen.
And add in a Jack Hopper fumble recovery in the end zone for a defensive score.
Schmidt back to pass, shows the left side. It's caught over there, a little bit of a bubble screen and a little bit of positive yards, trying to get out of bounds at about the 25-yard line to stop the clock, and he's successful in doing that with 2:45 to go.
Still think that 50-yard touchdown strike from Thompson to Kokar, 5:58 to play in the 4th quarter. You're right. At that point, it was a 12-point. It was only
4 touchdowns since then. You're right. 5:58 to go. 50-yard touchdown was Thompson to Kokar.
At that point, it was just a 33-28 game.
That was huge. Schmidt wants to go long. He's got a receiver out there, wide open, catch made, and Maxwell will take it to the house. That will be a 75-yarder. A 75-yard touchdown by Newton. As broken coverage over there because Maxwell way too open. And he hauled in the pass from 75 yards out.
The pump fake by Schmidt froze the secondary, and that's what made that play.
Coach Verner's not going to be happy about that. But with 2:35 to go, still up 54-41.
Well, we expected a lot of scoring tonight, and we got it.
Here's the point after kick is up and good, and your score, Salthawks 54, Railers 42. We will take a quick 30-second timeout and get the Newton kickoff. We'll be right back.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Well, no coach is going to be happy with the win. In fact, his team has given up 42 points. Being a defensive-minded coach, he's not going to be pleased about that. But Trace Salzbrenner is doing his first job for us, at least on the board. He's been with Eagle for some time, and he and Stewart both working the board, and he's going to work out tonight.
Way to go, Trace.
Since the 5:58 mark, which is, an hour ago maybe? 5 touchdowns. Here's the onside kick. Takes a big bounce. Hutchinson got to get to it. And it's going to be finally corralled over there at about the 32-yard line, and it will be Hutchinson football at the 32. So they'll give the football to Hutch. They got by that first line of offense, and nobody touched the ball. It ends up going out of bounds, though, so they'll bring it out to the – where are they going to mark it? They'll bring it out to the – they're going to put it at the 33. So 1st and 3 at the 33. 1st and 10 for Hutch with 2:35 to go.
Hang on to the football, get a couple first downs, and celebrate the victory.
Wichita East City League all over Wichita South tonight, 54-0 over South. Garden Plano winner over Douglas, 34-8. That's some scores from Kansas. Again, don't forget we're 40 minutes away from Nick Gosnell's show at 10 o'clock on KWBW. Giveaway up the middle, couple of yards pickup maybe. McEwen on the carry. Picks up to about the 35-yard line. McEwen getting close to how many yards tonight on the estimate, Dan? Because he got that 50-yard run.
50-yarder.
Has to be close to 100 for sure. 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, I'm guessing he is well over 130 by now.
2 minutes to go in the contest as the clock moves along here in the fourth quarter. Hutch leading 54-42. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Joe Blake, along with Sarah Peterson and the camera. Give again up the middle. McEwen just works his way, positive yardage all the way up to the 40. That's what college coaches are going to start to see. He gets that contact at the line of scrimmage or maybe before. Dan, he just keeps churning those legs and carries them forward and up this time to the 40. 3rd down and short, 3rd and 3.
5'10", 182 pounds, and a big heart.
Well, you got to have that, and you got to believe, and he's got some great blockers up front. He's working Ragoza, Seitz, and Doobie, Kepper, and Fan. That time it was that left side of Ragoza and Seitz doing the job out there. Peterson split wide on the left. Haven't gone to Peterson tonight by way of the passing game. Turn giveaway, McEwen. Picks up maybe a yard on the play. 4th down here facing Hutchinson with 1:01 to go. Clock stopped for
I think Newton burned their last
burn a timeout. So we're going to another 30-second break in. We'll see if it's our last or not. We'll be back in a half minute. Hutch leading 54-42. 4th down and 1 coming for Hutch.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
1:01 to go in the contest, 54-42.
Hutchinson staying with their offensive unit, which I think is probably a good decision to try to pick up the first down and then take a couple of knees to end the game.
Gardner-Edgerton with a big win over Mill Valley tonight, 28-19. That's in the fourth quarter still.
Wow, that would be a huge accomplishment.
Pitch on the outside. Here goes Kokar around the edge again, dancing his way through up to about the 48-yard line. Steps out of bounds, stops the clock with 54 seconds to go, but gets the first down on 4th and 2.
That's going to do it.
And that should do it.
Well done. Big night of scoring.
Well, Kokar with positive yardage again. Yep. So Hutch will go to 4-0, and has to be a big surprise for lots of folks across Kansas. Hutchinson going 2 straight years, 2-7 each year. Mike's team's growing up a lot since last year, and Thompson will take a knee, and that's probably going to do it. Your Salthawks have came away with a nice victory tonight over a Newton team that goes to 0-4, but very deceiving. That's probably one of the best 0-4 teams you're going to see in the state of Kansas is that Newton team. But Hutchinson comes out victorious tonight, 54-42. We will take a 2-minute timeout, add up on the numbers, and get set for the Medicine Shop postgame capsule. Brought to you by the Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Hi, Kansas. Jess here at Pools Plus, and we are super bummed we won't see you at the fair this year, but we are excited that our inventory is stocked and ready for the big sale. You heard it. The No Fair Fair Sale is going on now at Pools Plus. All spas and outdoor furniture are marked down to an all-time low. All in-stock solar covers are 15% off. Get them while they last. Be sure to call the professionals at Pools Plus and schedule your pool closing before the calendar is full. The No Fair Fair Sale going on at Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gowan Stadium. A victorious bunch of Salthawks down on the field, 54-42. It's going to take them a long time to cheer this one off, as they always do after a win, Dan. But it's time for the Medicine Shop post-game capsule, brought to you by the Medicine Shop at 14th and Maid. Flu shot time, guys. Get in there and get your flu shots. And Dan did his the other day, but I know the flu shot. Lacey has the softest touch, and I can attend to that. She does a great job. Don't forget, if you're 65 and older, you got to get a little bit of extra juice in your flu shot. Get that extra coverage for you in case you need it. Very important this year, especially. Don't forget the CBD oil that the Medicine Shop has. It's processed in Rice County by Prairie Hills Hemp Company. They carry CBD tincture from Prairie Hills in several strengths, flavors including orange cream and peppermint. They also have several topical CBDs as well as a full spectrum of gummies as well. They'll help you with inflammation, anxiety, depression, even seizure control. Talk to one of the 4 pharmacists with any CBD questions at the Medicine Shop in Midtown Hutchinson. No doubt about that. They do a great job there. And Dan, we go down the list right here. Hutchinson came out, and Newton got the quick march right down the field, 8:16 to go in the first quarter of play. The pass to Maxwell from 20 yards out, and Newton was up 7-0. Hutchinson answered it with a 61-yard run by Kokar with 5:48 to go in the contest. First quarter of play was 7-7 tie. Normally you would say, okay, is that the HutchPost.com play of the game sponsored by Titan? Well, it was in the running, but a little bit later on outdid that one. Then Newton came back for us with a 19-yard run, 14-7 Newton. That ended the first quarter of play. Hutchinson got McEwen a 2-yard touchdown to tie it at 14. Just a few seconds later, Hopper jumped on a loose fumble. Actually, it was a quarterback, went back to pass, slipped out of his hands. He went back to recover the end zone. It skipped away from him, and Hopper got on it. Hutch was up 21-14. And then you turn around with 13 seconds to go in a contest. Schmidt, a 2-yard run for Newton. That made it a 21-21 tie, and that's where we stood at halftime. You come back out, Thompson with 6:09 to go in his third quarter play as Hutchinson took the opening kickoff in the third quarter. A 1-yard plunge to make it 27-21. A missed point-after touchdown by Boo, as Boo missed the point after. And then with 1:02 to go in the third quarter, McEwen with a 7-yard run. That point after was missed again, and it made 33-21. And then you turn around, and Newton was able to score to make it 33-28 with 9:31 to go. Schmidt from 34 yards out to Maxwell. Hutchinson turned around, 5:58 to go, a 50-yard pass from Kokar to Kokar from the 50-yard line, made it 46-28. That was huge. Hutchinson built that lead. McEwen with a 22-yard run to go up 46-28 at that time, and then because Hutchinson just extended that lead after Newton had answered. You turn around, a Schmidt touchdown, and then we have a couple more on page 2 to get to as well.
Good thing you brought a
turn around with
notepad.
McEwen would put the nail in the coffin with a 50-yard run late in the fourth quarter of play on a 1st and 10 after the onside kick, 54-35, and then Maxwell with a 75-yard catch from the pass from Schmidt with 2:35 to go in the contest. 54-42 is your final. Our Titan Home Services play of the game is Noah Kokar's catch, and it sounded like this. Yeah, but I was. Brings up a 2nd down and 3 now from the 50 for Hutchinson. Clock moving along. It's 6:08 to go. Thompson back to pass. Looks left. Wants to throw it. Wants to go long. He's got a receiver out there. Hutchinson. 5:58 to go in the fourth quarter play. A 50-yard strike to Kokar. And it was wide open. He caught it like a center fielder going back against the wall and took that pass in, and a big touchdown pass from Thompson to Kokar. That is our HutchPost.com play of the game, sponsored by Titan Home Services out off of 4th and Whiteside. And that also is the scoring. What do we have stat-wise for the Medicine Shop postgame capsule?
Well, the Hutchinson Salthawks racked up 412 yards of total offense tonight, but that doesn't tell the entire story because they got a 53-yard interception return that set up a score, and they also picked up a defensive score when Jack Hover recovered a fumble in the Newton end zone for some points by the defense tonight for Hutchinson. Alec McEwen, another big night, 27 carries, 208 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Noah Kokar, 106 yards on just 7 carries, including a 60-yard touchdown run early in the game. Noah Kokar also caught 2 passes, and one of them for the Titan play of the game, which Glenn Grunwald just played for you. Another big night for Ben Schmidt at quarterback for the Newton Railers. He completed 25 of 36 passes for 287 yards and 4 touchdowns, including a 75-yard touchdown strike to Peyton Maxwell, who backed up his 14-catch night last week against Mays with 10 catches tonight for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jack Hover collected 11 tackles and recovered a fumble in the end zone for a touchdown tonight for Hutchinson. Emilio Martinez in double-digit tackles with 10. Devin Hackney, 8. And Maddox Hennahaw with 6. Big interception by Nolan Cunningham with that 53-yard return. Good night for the Hutchinson Salthawks.
Really good night for the Hutchinson Salthawks. We'll wait Coach Vernon to work his way up here, and we'll chat with him in just a little bit. Again, this is the Medicine Shop in-game capsule, a post-game capsule brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Again, don't forget the Medicine Shop with the Fiat Plus made by Hyatt Life Sciences out of Sterling, and also the great CBD oil that they get from Rice County by Prairie Hills Hemp Company. We'll take a break. Coach on here in just a second. Again, your final from Gowan Stadium, 54-42 42. Hutchinson a winner. We'll be back right after this timeout.
You've been listening to Hutchinson Salthawks Sports on VW Radio. Our broadcast was brought to you in part by Ashcraft Pharmacy, the Insurance Group, Pools Plus, and the Hutch CC Business Office. Salthawks Sports is also brought to you by the Salthawk Boosters, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Apple Lane Animal Hospital, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, William Thacker, and the Hutchinson Clinic. Stay tuned. Our Coaches Show is next on VW Radio. Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com. It's time for the Coaches Show on BW Radio. A look back at tonight's game and a peek into the next action. The Coaches Show brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Our chat with head coach is next after this timeout on KWBW.
The Medicine Shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need delivered with speed, the lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the Medicine Shop.
Coach Mike Vernon joins us in the booth right now. A nice win tonight, Mike, but a hard-fought victory. Your offense really had to step up, and they got it done. 54-42, Hutchinson the final, and congratulations, young man.
Thank you.
Nice job out there. Crazy, kind of just one of those heavyweight knockdown blowouts, 21-21 at halftime. They scored right before the half, and all of a sudden we knew we had a ball game in our hands.
Yeah, we knew going in that they were pretty scrappy, and we knew that we were going to have a 48-minute game, so they gave it to us.
Congratulations on the one play call right there. We're grinding it out. Looks like it's Hutchinson football. Takes it to the 50, and all of a sudden you call the long pass to Kokar. He brought it in. Thompson was right on the money with it, and that seemed to kind of didn't break the back maybe of Newton. Dan and I kind of thought they did, and they came back and scored a little bit later on, but it certainly kind of put some doubts in their minds.
Yeah, it was Miles. I was actually thinking that he was going to throw it to Peterson down here on the bottom because Petey had him beat. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, he missed him. And then he threw it up, and then I saw Kokar with all his speed behind everybody. And then I jumped up and down.
Like it was a great call, right?
Miles, you're an idiot. Nope, he's good.
Well, it was a heck of a night for a lot of guys. McEwen with 4 touchdowns, and he gutted out that last 50-yarder, and then he had another one from 22 that he backpedaled his way in. This last one, he had a big stiff arm that took him in the end zone. Your guys' offense was cooking tonight.
Yeah, and he ran so hard, and they were taking away this, they were taking away that, and we were playing a cat and mouse game in there, and going to the outside and the offensive line and everybody. What I liked about it was that everybody was talking and everybody was, the conversations were great and McEwen was hitting the hole, and it was a good night.
McEwen had scored back in the second quarter to tie it at 14-all, and then all of a sudden they had the ball late. The ball slips out of Schmidt's hands, goes into the end zone. I call that we have a safety, and then I realize it scoots away from him in the end zone, and we end up Harvard jumps on him and get a touchdown. We go up 21-14.
Yeah, it was a crazy play, and couldn't happen to a better kid, Jack, jumping on that ball.
Talk about your defense. You got to be pleased. Yeah, that's a lot of points that Newton stuck out there, but at the same time, there were some big plays, that 70-yard pass play like that when the game was pretty much decided.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit disappointed in our breakdowns there at the end. We had a couple breakdowns, but they did make big plays during the game, and I thought that they were holding up and we were keeping them in front of us. And there's a lot of good, but we need to fix those couple of breakdowns that we had at the end.
And that you will. We'll take a time out, come back, and wrap up with Coach. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Looking at scores in Kansas that just came across, they have a final Hutch 4, Newton 42. I think they missed a 5 in there someplace, but that's okay. McPherson went over Winfield. And, hey, we don't know about next week. I'd be sitting here regularly talk about Derby, but Derby had to cancel with Salina South today with a little COVID-19. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, it's just the times. I really hope that they get it together and we get to go down there because we'd really like to play. Just talking with, I think that Mr. Armstrong's got some other teams already lined up just in case. So I know that he's working the back channels, and we'll have a game even if something happens.
We're going to assume that we'll be traveling to Derby next week. And of course, Derby's Derby. They did not get a game in tonight. I'm sure they're very disappointed in that. But Derby's been the class of 6A for several years.
Yeah, great program. It'll be a good time going down there and competing.
Coach, we'll let you enjoy this one, okay? We'll talk to you on Wednesday. We can always get together, all right?
Yes, sir.
You betcha. Mike Vernon chatting about a nice win. One more time out, Dan, and I'll come back and wipe things up.